Welcome. We are back. We are back. Welcome, anime enthusiasts, to Nero, destination for things anime. In and out. Okay. Hello. Is this better? Hello. Wow. Okay. Pause.
That's
Hello.
good. I caught it now.
All right. Am I good? All right. Welcome, anime enthusiasts, to Squad Nero, the ultimate destination for all things anime. Whether you're a seasoned otaku or just taking your first steps into the captivating world of Japanese animation, you found your home. I'm Rob, aka Sage, and with me today I have Nyle, aka Corner, Tsmoov, and a special guest as well. Your guides through the vast realms of creativity, epic adventures, and heartfelt stories that anime, animation, and gaming have to offer. Join us each week as we dive deep into the latest releases, explore hidden gems, and discuss the hottest topics in the Blur community. Get ready for a journey filled with laughter, tears, and an unbridled passion that makes anime a truly unique art form. Without further ado, let the anime odyssey begin. I'm a lay down the red carpet for T Smooth to introduce our special guest for today. Where is the damn? Where's the sounds when you? I got the whole time. Jesus, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Hey everyone, I'm Musical Joker, and I am a YouTube content creator who talks about anime. I'm looking forward to talking about anime tonight and just having great conversations with these guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Thanks for having me, everyone.
Thank you for joining us, man. It's gonna, yeah, I'm very excited to just see what we end up kind of coming to here today. Rob, I think still, he still might need a second. We got some kind of technical work happening over here. Um, well, I can't talk about the Lakers because I'm a Lakers fan. Oh man, he is not. He's gonna get this fixed very fast. I don't think he's gonna look at this is he already back. I see it. I see it. Start. He can talk now. Did you hear any or all of that, Rob? Sage. Oh, he's still working on it. While he is still getting that soft, yes. Thank you for joining us, Miss Pac-Man.
Cool. Yes. hmm I feel like that's if we get like a Smash Ultimate 2, like basically okay, I feel like that's a given. I feel like just because of how much hype there was when he first made his debut in the 3DS and Wii U versions of the game, he is considered one of the like the four like main icons, Sonic, Mario, Mega Man, and Pac-Man. Like there's no way that they would not bring him back for another one. Especially I believe Bandai Namco had like a hand in creating
Hello?
Smash overall, like developing in some way. So I feel like that's got to be a given. There's no way that they won't bring him back.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I had a dunce moment. Literally, majority of the stream, I was muted. Like my mic wasn't set up properly. Um, while Rob is still deafened, Say's still deafened. We gonna rewind this. Um, yeah. For those who joined in, I'm so sorry for the last 5 minutes or 3 minutes of the stream. I've been silent. to reintroduce, even though you heard him talking, probably didn't know what the question was asked. My boy Musical Joker, he's a YouTube content creator. He's the Golden Win specialist. Going back through my whole script of what I was saying about him, Pac-Man enthusiast, because he's about this life. You gonna catch a fire hydrant if you play against him. Just know, duck. That's all you got to duck. But we're not gonna talk about invisible bombs. But that's the different ball game when we went to Summer Jam back in 19. But yeah, we're here. It looks like Sage is still trying to fix his stuff. I wish he would have used his. He stepped away. But yeah,
Well,
back to the. Might as well just start rocking and rolling. So Mashley, latest episode.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's thoughts. My opinion, 5 of 5. I enjoyed it.
don't know if I seen the most recent episode.
It's when they started the
I saw. I know the musical guy is. Oh yeah, no. I don't think I started the most recent episode.
You did.
I
So
haven't seen the most recent one
basically-
yet.
Yeah, they basically just started like this exam arc that they're doing. They
Okay.
started like the first part. You know how there's like all part 1, part 2, part 3 kind of thing. They just did the part 1 portion of the exam, and they finished it, and then it leads on to part 2. Overall, I thought it was great just because it shows a bit more of a dynamic between Mashal and other characters outside the friend group. Even though we don't know entirely the true intentions of this guy, we just know that he's affiliated with one of the upperclassmen that's trying to like vouch for Mashal. I'm assuming you like saw the episode where I can't remember his name, but the older brother of the like younger like weak kid.
Yeah.
Rames.
With the swords, right?
Yep. How he's vouching for him. Apparently, this upperclassman was kind of testing Mashal to see like, should I be on your side? Should I not? Throughout this exam, and despite basically like getting, they were supposed to get a key to pass the first portion of the exam. Mashal wanted to give it to this upperclassman because he felt like he was undeserving of it. So then that helped Mashal pass because the upperclass was like, nah, you're good, take it, I'll be fine. But then it leads up to like, they already established like a couple big bads for this like arc. They established another person. I don't know if you saw him. There was like a purple-haired guy.
That
with,
man's
like,
a problem.
Weird, like spiral.
That is a problem.
Bro, people got issues like wherever you go in anime. But like, I don't know what to deal with these guys. Like, this Music Man is like weird and quirky, but like in a good way. Like, I'm liking the energy he's bringing. But then like this other guy is just, we don't know much yet. But I'm looking forward to seeing what he kind of tries to do to kind of screw over Mashal and the gang in these next portions of the exam.
My whole thing is the homeboy that had the piano that poofs out of nowhere and then goes into like Bach and all that beautiful music.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was getting a mix of John Legend mixed with Hisoka vibes, because the way he's sitting there playing and he's feeling it, and I'm waiting him. Literally, I don't know why, but in the back of my mind, I was waiting for him to go, gone. Mash. I'm like waiting for it. I don't know what it is. Like he's so perfect for his role because it's making me feel very cringy watching him and like prepare what he's getting ready to do. So I don't know. Like that all the jokes hit on this episode, especially when every time Mashal goes into his workout outfit, everybody's always looking at him like, what are you about to do? And for him to go into a breakdancing stance to achieve the goal had me rolling. Now, I'm not trying to go into too much detail on you because I know you got to watch the episode, but there's a portion where he goes into a breakdance like motion and everybody's looking at him like, what is he doing?
This is the music note guy, or is this another?
No, this is MASH actually in this moment.
Oh, okay,
To achieve the goal, it dealt with breakdancing. So I'm not going forward
and that's
with.
why I love that show.
Yo, he did it. Everybody's like, wait, what? Why is he doing this?
I love that.
Yeah.
People are surprises though. That's just how the character is.
Yeah, and I feel like that's just the genre of like the kind of show. It's like One Punch Man kind of deal where it's like the unexpected, like expect the unexpected, but unexpected and expected kind of thing, where it's like an extra layer on top of that. Because like you think you got it figured out, no you don't. No you don't. And it's always funny, it's always like playful in nature, and that's what you gotta love about it, because it kind of keeps you on your toes, but it's amusing. You could watch this with like your family and it's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Like when I first started to watch it, I said it reminded me of Gintama. I'm gonna hold on my thought really quickly though. Mrs. Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man said, "Where's the other guy from last time?" He actually had to go to just a prior event, so he will be back with us. That being Chef D, he will be back with us, but just for this show, he couldn't join us. So that's why we have
Got the
our
homie.
lovely, lovely, lovely homie with us here, musical Joker. Um, to finish on that thought though, yeah, when I first started to watch it, it reminded me a lot of Gintama, just in regards to the humor, and like I just love that. I try to get more people on with like trying to get into more humorous anime because I'm like,
Hmm.
look, it might surprise you. They still have a lot of themes like show like the typical shonen action that you're used to. So just kind of give it like maybe just try to give it a spin. So when I saw Masho, which they recommended actually on this show, I hadn't seen it yet. But when they recommended it, I like caught up in like 2 days because I was
Hmm.
just like, this is so great, and
Hmm.
that is one of the biggest things that I do love about Masho is just the fact that Mash is so like you at this point should probably know what he's gonna do, but because of the nature of the show and as well the nature of the character, you just don't like you never know. So like hearing him breakdancing in the most recent episode, I'm like that makes perfect sense to me because
Hmm.
like it's just that's what he would do.
See, the one scene that Mash had that had me rolling is when he meets Rames, Finn's older brother, for the first time, and he's testing him, and he shoots
Hmm.
all his swords at him, and you think he died in that moment, but he formed a whole chair and sitting there
Hmm.
chilling like, what you about to do now, bruh? What you about to do now? And it's just that moment, especially when the spider is trying to see how much magical power he got, and the spider doesn't even know. And it's
He's
like
like,
in that
I don't know what's
moment,
happening.
yo,
Hmm.
and then that moment, Rames is like, I don't know what's up with her. Something must be really up with this guy because she's not speaking in spider puns anymore. I'm not gonna lie, that joint had me rolling. Had me rolling. Yeah, was good, AME Pac Man. Was good, my guy.
We got both of the Pac-Mans in the
Pac Man
podcast now.
enthusiast. Yep.
Yep.
We got it's Pac Man Day.
Yeah, we
That's
got
what
this
we
is
do.
Pac-Man. Yeah, I was just about to say, yeah, that's
Hmm.
Pac-Man Day because we have all of our enthusiasts here now. I'm feeling pretty good. I know Rob, I think is still having kind of working out some things, but I figure if we were to happen to just move into one of our topics that we have listed,
Yep.
maybe by the end of it, he probably would be on here. So just to get that going,
I'm just saying this
I'll
might be
try
one of
to.
our it might be one of our best episodes if he don't speak. I don't know.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
He is like, it work enough now. It works enough now.
I put it here. I am. I put it on my phone and everything. Went above and beyond. This man over here sending shots again. I can't. I
No,
can't
I
win,
was just
buddy.
make no,
I
I
can't
was just
win.
making sure you heard. Like I'm just throwing stuff out there. That was the only way because I didn't want to ruin it, like ruin the flow of things.
Mhm.
So I was like just
Mhm.
still talking, and I'm waiting for you to
Mhm.
say something. That's
It
all it
just so
is.
happened.
All
Hmm.
right, now go ahead. Go ahead with the
Uh,
topic.
are you back now? Are you good?
Yeah. I'm using my phone for right now. I gotta reboot my Mac and then use the original
Yep.
internal
Uh
hard
huh.
drive
Mhm.
for the boot.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's wild that that got solved on this show. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Uh huh.
Uh, well, Rob, since you are back, even if it is through this phone audio, which you sound fine on, just to let you know. Did you want to just go ahead and take it over from there? I'll just let you go ahead with the topic. You could pick whatever one you want to start with.
Yeah. Let me look. All right. So since we were already talking about side characters last episode, we might as
You
well.
disappeared.
I disappeared.
You disappeared. Your
You
camera
know,
goes off if
There
you
you
go
go.
to the notes.
I had to go to the notes to check. You know, I'm a little hobbled right now. Bear with me. But yeah. So since we were talking about side characters and what were some of the most impactful side characters in a story, person, the next question would be who would be the best side characters? that there is. If I'm not mistaken, that's from the note.
Don't get me started. My top two would always have to be, because people gonna fight me on this, Rock Lee and Kiba.
Rock Lee is a side character though.
Rock Lee is a side
Yeah, I would count
character.
Rock Lee as a side
He's a
character.
side character.
But in the dude trigenesis or whatever the damn word is, in that category, cause Sasuke is in that category, we pretty much got a whole lot of Sasuke's background, just as much, if not more, than Naruto's background.
You
When
know what?
Naruto came
That
up. And we
you
didn't really get into Rock Lee's background like that. I'm just stating the facts.
I
I'm just
feel
stating
like-
the facts.
I feel like it's criminal you're not mentioning Killer B at all in Naruto.
Yeah.
Kameyoro Hameyoro.
One of the first times we see this man, he just pops up with smoke and, just
Now-
beats Sasuke.
now-
Left and right, bro.
Hold up though.
He did. He packed his
but-
ass up.
But hold up though. I didn't say Naruto Shippuden. I said Naruto.
Oh, you're being specific.
I'm being
Okay.
specific. Now, if we're talking Shippuden, then yes, I'm gonna throw Killer B in there.
Mhm.
Because Killer B is my favorite character from Shippuden. Him and
Yeah.
what is the leader of the the Cloud Village? What do they call him? It's not.
Raikage?
Yeah, Raikage. Yes.
Mhm.
Him,
Okay.
them being brothers, bruh. And then they fought together when Homeboy lost his arm.
Mhm.
Probably one of the best fights. One of,
Is
not
Gara
the.
a side character?
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, like enough of that. I mean, like portions of him being around, like, were significant enough, like the beginning of Shippuden and then during the tuning arc. But I would say, he stepped back a couple times enough to be qualified as just
To
like
be
a good
considered
side
as
character.
a side character. Yeah, I would definitely then just come in. Just from what I'm getting from the Naruto side, like you got me thinking there that Gara. I really did like Gara's story. Even when he was like kidnapped into, like when he was kidnapped and they had to have that whole arc around him, just because that arc was like there, I was like, I like Gara a little bit more because of this, because I just always think that arc is it's just a really good arc to me in just anime period. And it really, I think it's like, if you really look at it too, the arc where Gara was kidnapped, and first of all, that's Sakura's best fight to me. Second, the other thing though is that kind of the tone from that, I started to see that more and more in anime after that point. Like, not saying that they got that from that point, sure, because I mean there's definitely darker tone anime. We talked about Berserk on here before. There's obviously darker tone anime that like super predate Naruto. But it seemed like that made it. It seemed like that kind of got the ball moving again, where you started to see more of it into the 21st century. So yeah, Gara definitely would probably be. That might be my answer for like favorite side character.
I feel like, to kind of piggyback off of that, it helps more so that like you see Gara become like a secluded, like really closed off person to someone who really wants to like work with Naruto and other people to help create a better place for his home.
Yeah.
Seeing that kind of transformation, that dynamic personality, really helps out a lot in his storytelling. So like I don't disagree with you at all right there.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. To a T. Like, it's great character progression. The powers weren't something. It was a power where like it could have been underutilized, but they didn't. They used it to the max, the same way that I feel like they were with Naruto with Kurama. The same way that they were using that with Sasuke with the Sharingan. They really utilized it. They utilized those things, and I think Gara fit in that boat too, which made him such a great character in Naruto. Rob, what about you? We gotta get both of you guys' answer. We gotta get Joker's answer, and as well as that, we gotta get Rob's answer.
I bet I could predict Joker's answer.
Please try me.
Guido Mista.
You're close. So I wrote down a couple, kind of thinking of like who do I appreciate in anime as like side characters. One of them is just like the Joe Bros in Part 4 and Part 5. They are like the main characters because they're usually there alongside like the main JoJo. But I feel like even then, especially in Part 5, like I love Part 5, but the main JoJo in there, Giorno, was not like the best JoJo that we've had. If anything, like
Yes.
Bruno Bucciarati, that is like JoJo to me. Like Guido Mista, Narancia, all of them are fantastic characters that you understand where they came from, why they're doing this, and it's tragic to see them leave, but they never hit like that main character status, like for
That's a
like
great
the
answer.
show. So like that
Yeah.
was one of them. I was thinking of like Blue Lock, like the other characters.
Mm.
Again, same thing. All of them have their motivations to be why they're here in Blue Lock, to be able to be the best striker in the world. Why are they sacrificing everything that they can, and then just seeing them lose as well, or taking like the L's. It's so impactful that
Okay.
like I could talk about one of the characters where his family's poor, he has nothing, and he's doing this for his family so that they could live a wealthier life and not be poor eating dumplings all the time. And you kind of see throughout the story that like this character's like taking dumplings and eating them, and he enjoys them because it's reminiscent to his family. The fact that he loses and is kicked out of Blue Lock, like that hurts. Like you don't
Mhm.
want anyone to go through that. So like that kind of thing as well.
Mhm.
I feel like even going back to like OG anime, like look at Yu-Gi-Oh, like OG Yu-Gi-Oh, you got Joey Wheeler, like beautiful side character,
That's a
just
great answer.
just because like bro, Duelist Kingdom, he's doing
Oh.
all of this just so he can get money for his sister's surgery. Literally, that is his motivation. And despite everything, where he was like a crappy duelist in the beginning, he persevered and was second at Duelist Kingdom.
Mhm.
I'm like, that kind of stuff
Joker
is.
didn't come to play.
I
Joker
did
didn't
not.
come to
Bro,
play.
I
That
got
was a
stuff.
great, those are that is those were great answers. That was absolutely great answers. I have not seen Blue Lock. I've heard great things about it. But you might have
It's
even just
amazing.
sold me on like
Bro,
on going ahead and watching it. Yeah.
do yourself a
Um.
favor. Do yourself a favor. Watch Blue Lock. If you watch like other sports anime like Haikyuu,
Yeah,
like
I
that.
have before. Yep.
You have? Okay. So like that's great
Mhm.
at demonstrating how like working as a team is so important. It's so like, if you don't, it's detrimental to like your career and like what you want to pursue in this kind of like sports environment, maybe go into like as a career. This one's just like screw all of you. This is about me and where I want
Mhm.
to be. I want to be the best. It's
Okay.
not about you. I'm only using you for this situation because I need to, and using
Mm.
people based off of that. So it's a completely different dynamic, and it just makes it so interesting. I swear it's literally one of my favorite animes. Period. Just because
You
of
might have
that.
just sold me even further with that because it almost sounds like what was that new anime that came out? I think it's called Classroom of the Elite. It's like
Yeah.
you making it sound like it's like that with just sports,
I I
like a
yeah. Classroom of
yeah
Elite, in my opinion, is kind of mid. Like it was mid back when it
yeah.
like came out in, like what 2010s, and then it got surprisingly got sequels. This one is
Mhm.
nothing but heat. Like
Just
all
heat the whole
24
time. Yeah.
heat the whole time. Where it literally when the anime ended, season 1 ended, I immediately started reading the manga. I'm already caught up. Like I could not
Mm.
stop.
Okay.
It's too good.
Yeah. I think you sold this one on me. I haven't watched the sports anime in a while, but I always do normally enjoy it. It is
Mhm.
the way you get hyped up over it and the way that they build up, and every single one that I've seen at least, the way that they build up to the actual event or like game is just in like by the time you get there, you on the edge of your seat,
Mhm.
and then they actually go and play the game or the match or whatever it is for the whatever sport it is,
Mhm.
and then it's like the whole time I'm like I feel like I'm not even breathing. Like I just
No.
held my breath for the whole episode. I'm like,
My
yo, how
eyes are
can I even
glued to
do
the
that?
screen, man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I can't stop. Like yo, next episode right now. Like I
See,
Yes.
can't.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
kind of hyped. This man really brought his A game. It's really making me go through my bag
Bro,
of like
I
different
had like
characters.
I had like two more written down too where I'm like Lupin the Third, my favorite anime of all time. You can kind of see them like up here.
Okay.
There's like a
Yeah.
literally four characters. They're all thieves, and then there's a cop. All of them, they could have a standalone episode, and it could be one of the best episodes in each part. Like all of it is great, and I could never recommend just watching a group of thieves having a good time, having like even just the worst depressing time possible, and it'll still come out heat. Always.
Okay. That's
Man,
another one where I've seen the movie. There was a really like
Is it like really
almost
gory?
critically acclaimed. It was darker. Yeah, it was
It
the
was
real
samurai
dark.
one.
it's probably Goemon's Gravestone. I believe that's the title of it. That one has
Okay.
amazing animation, and it is very gory.
Yes,
But
that's
the,
it.
the main person
Yeah.
of that one is a samurai, and
Hmm.
he is like the descendant of like a super legendary samurai in Japanese folklore. And like
Mhm.
I said, literally, the other characters have their own movies. Like there's a gunslinger, he has his own movie. I think they're probably trying to make more for like the other characters as well. They always have unique ways to tell their stories. And like I said, you could have, the main person is Lupin the Third, a thief, hailing from like the Maurice LeBlanc's written work of Arsène Lupin. He doesn't need to be in that episode for it to be good.
Mm. Mm.
So
Okay.
definitely another
I'm
one
gonna
I'd
definitely have
recommend.
to. Yeah, I will. I already like started to, but I'll have to go in further because normally, like that's the thing. If I can just kind of understand where they're going, and I feel like I did, but I just didn't. It's timing. Timing to do that, where it's like I gotta go back to it, and then I'm like, why did I ever stop? So
Hmm.
this sounds like that with Lupin, and then Blue Lock. Just it sounds up my alley because again, I do really like sports anime, and I hope that was good selling points for our viewers as well. If those
No,
are genres, in fact, that they enjoy. Um,
but
Rob.
not now.
Yep. Wait, hold on. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Let's push Rob to the side because I want him to make sure he got everything right. But with my man Joker coming in his bag, it made me think of two animes with like two side characters that I really like. Shokugeki
Mm-hmm.
Food Ward, Shokugeki no Soma.
Hmm.
His
Okay.
what was it? Soma's father,
Hmm.
Joichiro,
Yep.
and the Aldini brothers,
Okay.
and with
Okay.
Megami. Like their side stories when they have their moment and they're explaining them, you can see like their drive. Like Joichiro, like he, bruh, close the shop up. I got some stuff I gotta go learn. Now I'm gonna come back and we gonna do what we gotta do. You gonna go to school. So while the son is at school, his dad is still out. Granted, he's doing work, but he's still learning at the same time. And it's like a big rivalry between son and father. And it's always fun seeing that because you could see Soma adopted so many weird things from his dad, like having somebody
Yeah.
try squid and peanut butter or whatever,
Hmm.
and all that disgusting food just so that he can come up with some crazy dish. The Aldini brothers, because you see them come together and do their thing to make it to the school, but then you have moments where they have to branch apart and do things on their own, and they still succeed.
Hmm.
And it
Mm-hmm.
shows how good they are. And Megami, I just love her story. It's just too adorable.
Hmm.
It's just too adorable. Like she's trying to come from this what was it, like her lands like near what they specialize in seafood or something like that, and she
Hmm.
wants to develop food that like helps with medicine and everything to cheer people up or
Hmm.
help them out with their endorphins or whatever. And Hajime no Ippo Komagawa, the coach,
Okay.
hands down, probably one of my favorite
Still haven't
characters.
seen that. Yeah.
Bruh, come on, man.
Yeah. That
I
is
I
one that I haven't seen. I like. Yeah, you guys are gonna get me back into sports anime because I know from even our previous shows that like y'all got me really hyped for Hajime, which like everybody does. Everybody who sees it always like. I look for that and I like that, but like literally, there's not been a. I've not heard one terrible thing about that show,
Mhm.
like at all. Um. So yeah, you guys got me. I might have to pivot here, which is good. I need pivots.
Very good. Well, actually, really quick to piggyback off of Terrence, really quick. I really liked you focused on Soma specifically, like the whole show Shigeki no Soma,
Mm-hmm.
because I never really thought of like his father being a side character like that until now. Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, you're right. Every point you made is right, but then also on top of that, he is like the dynamic like opposite of his son, where like throughout the show you see Soma like being creative, doing new dishes, exploring upon his skill set and learning these new skills. Meanwhile, his father reached the top and then he's like, I don't know what to do anymore. So then he just declines. He just doesn't really do anything to kind of like surpass anyone like Soma does. And Soma helps his father learn that. But just seeing
Mm-hmm.
that kind of like dynamic where it's like the opposite of one other person, kind of just like their ideologies like combine and like kind of contrast and just meet in the middle, it really helps fuel that kind of message of just continue to persevere even when you think you have it all, you never do.
Yeah.
Yep, great points.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's a great point. Absolutely.
Rob, you ready?
Um,
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
ooh,
I was gonna say just I guess to be a little on the mainstream side, Sakuna and Aizen. Sakuna especially because I feel like as a villain, feel like his story is being fleshed out literally as we see. In comparison to, I feel like our Aizen, we didn't really get his motives until after everything went down, until Wolf pulled over and everything like that. And their decisions deliberately manufactured what was going to happen preceding whatever they did in order to do that. Sukuna, in his instance, spoiler alert, him actually feeding Megami the finger. That distinct action, instead of just staying in Yuji's body. Was I not supposed to say that?
No, it's just a. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you rock because D ain't here. I'm gonna let you rock.
He eat his finger. He ate his finger. Nigga. He fed up his finger.
Nah. Because literally, what you're telling me is that he fingered Megami. That's what I'm getting at.
Bro, what kind of jump is that, bro? Come on.
See?
We did. We
See? I was trying to let it go.
understand why you felt the way you did.
Yeah.
Now I do understand.
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard.
He fed him the finger, ripped it out, put all his curse energy in that thing.
That sounds so
even
wrong.
crazier. But nonetheless, once he did that, it sent down the domino effect of what these niggas needed to do, because Sukuna was just him base level with Yuji's body. Once he transferred over to Megami's body, he has a whole nother arsenal when it came to the Ten Shadows technique. And who better to use it than Sukuna, the man who was blessed by curse energy to begin with. Aizen, on the other hand, it's like we never understood what he was doing until after he, quote unquote, got clapped, assassinated, and he went on about his life building Iran cars and then being one with the I can't remember the name of it, Ogyoku, I think. I can't remember. Sorry if I butchered the pronunciation. But once he did that, that transformed a domino effect for Ichigo in order to have to get stronger. Sukuna, his decision instantly made it a domino effect for Yuji having to get stronger. If you didn't get stronger, that was life or death. I just like the stakes of it and everything like that. You could throw in the Griffith in there too, just because they went into his backstory as well a little bit. But those are the three ones that I would say are the best side characters in my estimation.
Okay. I do like what I will say is that with Aizen you kind of made me think it is weird because Aizen really was like a hardcore, just like I'd even go a step further for the earliest parts of it. It was almost like a background character. Like you knew he was a part of the what are they called? The entire squad group. Well, you knew he was a captain. So you knew of him, you understood like his powers, you understood his crewmates a little bit better as we were going on. And to your point, Rob, a lot of the details with him did come later. But it was kind of weird how you just kind of had this character that was almost like again just kind of in the background, creep up slowly but surely to like a main character status too. Or like within the realm of main enemy, like for him to make that jump. And then also just kind of when you go to the what was the name of that arc? I'll just call it the Eisen arc for now. But like when you go to the Eisen arc, there's like the part of it in Gecko Mundo, and then there's the part of it where like where Eisen was facing the other captains in the real world. And it's just kind of like I do like that one because you were seeing so much of Ichigo in Mundo, and that was like awesome. But then you also at the same time was getting this character who at this time as well kind of being fleshed out. We're getting more of the motivations. We're learning about the crew that he has assembled that was his former squad that now is this still squad, but like whatever. Yeah, I just think that like I get that. I get where you get that answer, like where you use that as saying that's probably one that I would put up there because I just thought that was brilliant with Bleach how it was done. Like because I just was looking at this character, I'm like, yeah, he is kind of weird and whatnot, but I didn't expect that he would like his ambitions were to the level that they were, and then just to watch that grow. Yeah, I like that answer too. I like that one. The Sukuna one isn't bad to me, but I definitely you got me looking at Aizen a little bit differently now. So appreciate you for that. Okay, we got everybody on that one. Rob,
Mhm.
since you are rocking and rolling, you want to just keep it going with the next topic?
Yes, sir. All right, so just get right to it. Is there any anime that got canceled that you wish would keep
Yes.
going? Like,
Can I
Wholeheartedly.
start this?
Go
Oh
Wholeheartedly.
my
for it.
God,
ahead.
can I start this?
I'm gonna just
Which
say one
one?
real quick, and then you could go ahead. I'm gonna just say one real quick, and I'm pissed that they fucked up the first
I
season
wonder
of
if it's the
this.
same as mine.
Oh
Oh,
God, of high school. I just wish they would have did the first season better, and wish they would have kept going with it. I know they're not going along with it no more. That reception that they got from the first season was abysmal.
Is it over?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like
I think so, yeah, because
really? It's
they fucked up
canceled.
the first season. They fucked it up so badly, like so.
Is the same thing true for Tower of God?
I didn't even watch that one
I'd
yet.
imagine if God of High School got canceled, then I imagine it got canceled.
I don't think so. I feel like God of High School was just like focusing too much on the like the combatant, like the fighting like stuff
Hmm.
too much, where it didn't really tell a cohesive story
Mm-hmm.
compared to like
Uh-huh.
God of High not God of High School, Tower of God, because I watched Tower of God and God of High School, and I felt like there was so much more going on in Tower of God, where it's just like kind of going through this challenge, like the typical like challenge arc, exam arc or whatever, but then you see like, oh, these characters are not who they seem to be, and then forming these unlikely alliances. Tower of God, hell, I even read some of the webtoon of it in the beginning. There's a lot more going on than meets the eye, and there's
Mm-hmm.
much more to tell in the next season. The other one just does not do that for me. It just is like, oh, there's these people who are super strong, and then we're gonna have a tournament arc, and that's it. There's nothing more to it than that. If they definitely focus more on the story and not just creating like super flashy and beautiful like fight scenes, they could have had something more there. But I really don't think that they'll do like a second season.
They tried to be like Demon Slayer, but didn't succeed. Did,
Yeah,
did I
that's
did I say that?
Yeah.
They had a perfect base too. Like they have a perfect story with God of High
Yeah.
School. If they would have just came through the first season, everything else would have been history, bro. History.
Execution. It's just sometimes that's the next. That's why when you brought this up, there was one anime that came to mind for me, and it fits a lot along the lines of what we were saying with God of High School. Dead Man Wonderland.
Oh, I
That
hate you
is
so
my
much. Oh, I hate you so
number
much. That was mine.
one.
That was
That is
mine.
my number one. That is I never
Yo,
will get over that.
Nyle, one, get on my head. Two, I'm getting you some boxing gloves and we duking it out because that was my choice.
Yes.
That's
That was
always
the
been
one they
mine.
only dropped the
you
one
better
season
come up
We,
with
for,
a
we
right?
new one, man.
can we can share it then. That's mine, Auntie. Is Dead Man Wonderland because I get it. I get it. Like I get it. I completely
Bruh.
understand why that's, and I'm not shocked that that's yours too because it was
The,
like you were just so built up. You were so built up at the end
bruh.
of this season. It was like I want the next season tomorrow. And so many people that I talk to, it's the exact same sentiment where like they're like, "Yeah, what happened? I want more of that." And it just never ever came. And it's just like it I don't think I still want it to come back. It's like that and then Hunter x Hunter. I like the two series that I will just forever, as crazy as it makes me feel or sound, I will always hold out hope that it will come, that those two will come back at some point because uh,
My thing is
yeah,
this, like, Dead Man Wonderland, hands down, because it only ended on one season. It's for me, like, I know Hunter x Hunter got left on like a whole tangent, but the way they left the anime off, like, yeah, we know it's more to come, but they left it all where it was like it could be an ending. It could be.
right,
Mhm.
It could be. But Dead Man Wonderland, it was like they started off with some heat that first episode. Everybody in the classroom gets clapped. They think it's this one boy. That boy gets sent to the prison. He ends up getting some ability, and he's learning it as he's playing while trying to stay alive.
Mhm.
And he's going across, like, you meet different characters that have different backgrounds, different side stories, trying to survive in this prison so that they can see their family or they can get out, they can live their life once again. The one thing that like really pulled me in was that one girl that was like, "Oh, I love you" and stuff, blah 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 blah, and then all of a sudden her attitude changed so quickly, like Yuna and Mariniki. so quick that it was like, yo, I need to see how she like progresses through this story. When that happened, and then all of a sudden stuff hits the fan, they trying to escape all at once, and then they just last episode cliffhanger just left us hanging like that. You
So
don't
it's
understand. I literally spent 2 days searching when season 2 is coming. Is there any hope? Is there a petition? Because I would have made 20 email accounts just to add on there. I was hurt. I was hurt. My soul was crushed because I'm like, this anime right here, it fits every intricacy of what I want in anime. The fights, the story, everything to pull you in, all that and then some. Deadman Wonderland, hands down, needs to get brought back. And the bad
so
part is, I didn't even want to read the rest of the manga.
Yeah, that's how I felt. That's
really.
literally we had the same sentiment. Like I went through it and I was just like, because I know of the capability in regards to like how this can be animated, I'm gonna just read this and be sitting there the whole time, just like this is never gonna happen. This is really never gonna happen. Like, wow, am I enjoying this more and it's never gonna happen? I probably will at some point go ahead and read Dead Man Wonderland, but like, oh, it's
Wait,
just such it was such a bad feeling. It didn't leave me right.
is it like
Mm-mm.
tainted for you? Is that why like you're just like I can't like
Kinda.
this could be animated right now, but it's not.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
like it was I and the point that I did make before, which I did want to kind of comment on too, is like where you guys were using the examples with the execution that happened with God of High School. I wonder, was it the execution with Dead Man Wonderland that ultimately led to this happening? Was it a budget dispute? Like, I still really don't know
So
what
I actually
took
looked it
it
up just
down.
now because I can't I did watch Dead Man in Wonderland a long time ago. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember too much about it and why it could have, but from what I'm seeing really quickly is that it was like dutiful sales. You know, the nature of it was like being too gory and stuff like that, and that kind of made me want to ask the question like, is it because of the times of when that was released? Because you look at anime now, we got like
Yep.
Chainsaw Man, Demon
Yep.
Slayer, like
Redo of
all
Healer.
these
Yep.
exactly. You got all those kind of animes. I hate you for mentioning that, but we got all these kind of animes for like being like downright terrible or like super gory in nature. And like it wasn't because in the market back then there wasn't that much kind of anime where people were like, "Yo, that's not cool, that's not nice," and that's why it didn't do so well. And like, do you think if it was released now, do you think it would do well in this current anime, like, society, I guess, like this current situation?
Yes,
It's
and
getting
Mappa
right
needs to
now.
animate it. Yes, and
It is getting right now.
Mappa needs to animate this. Bring it back. Start it from scratch. Mappa needs
Yeah.
to animate it. Let your workers take a vacation for a year and then come back strong with this one.
You know they not gonna do that shit, man.
Can I campaign for it? Like, don't shoot me down.
They don't give a damn what you say from
Yo,
America, nigga. They try to get this animation out.
bruh.
They're already overworked as is, man.
That's
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying. That's what I'm saying. Let them take off a year and come back strong with Dead Man's Wonderland.
that is
Bruh,
not in their
if
contract
they
details.
if they give us Dead Man's Wonderland Mappa animation, bruh, Mappa will make way more money than they do with JJK, with One Punch Man, with a lot of these shows. I kid you not, because you're gonna catch everybody that loved it when season one was animated, the manga lovers, how it was animated and brought to life, and everybody new to the game that's liking this type of anime.
Yeah, I absolutely do agree though that when you think about it, it absolutely was the timing of it. When Dead Man Wonderland, and I'm not even looking anything up. I'm just kind of guessing. But when it came out, was like still within that frame of like the new 2011 updates with anime.
Mhm.
Right when they did those, and you could tell it's like night and day. You go to 2010 anime, you see how it's trying to still have that older kind
Mm-hmm.
of style, really heavily in the 2D animation side. When you get to 2011, and I think the reason why it sticks out to me so easily is because Hunter x Hunter came back at that point, and it was definitely one of the first anime that kind of got this treatment where it was like, we will have some instances where you're gonna just start seeing this 2D animation get a little bit more fluid, not just in fights but in character designs and everything. And when they did that, just as if you notice in Hunter x Hunter, you read the source material, it's a lot more gore filled. than what you
Mm-hmm.
get in the actual anime side, and that carried on for a while. Like up until we started to get like Attack on Titan, Tokyo Ghoul, I feel like it went like
Mm-hmm.
all the way until then, where it was just kind of like this, let's stay away from gore. Cause like after once we started to get Tokyo Ghoul and Attack on Titan, you started to see series like Berserk is coming back, and it's like there's no way you could have did that 5 to 10 years before that. It
Nah,
just wasn't.
See, but
it was
that's
Berserk
that's
was
back.
at the time.
but that's what bugs me though.
Right.
It's like you had animes like Ninja Scroll. You had like stuff that had all that
That was
gore.
a different time.
But that was right before 2011. That was like early. What was it? Late 90s when that dropped.
90s. But that was a split. It was like the 90s, and then you got to the 2000s, and then from like the start of One Piece to like 2011 was just like it was, we're kind of, we want to tone this down because we want this to be for teenagers. We want this to be for like kids, if even. Um, when you look at Hunter x Hunter, again, it's a lot of really dark things. Think about Crollo when he the body double that was
Mm-hmm.
killed, right? In the manga, extremely gory. And in the anime, it was like still gory, but like they toned it down enough to where when I was thinking about it, because I watched that when I was an adult. Like I watched Hunter x Hunter as an adult. I was in college when I was watching Hunter x Hunter. So when I think about it in regards to like, could a child watch this? I'm like, you had to probably be a cooler parent,
Mm-mm.
but you
Mm-mm.
probably could for a lot of it. Like think about the arcs though that you get, the gaming arc. But the like, I would be cool with that. The game when they went into the little game world, I would be for the most
It's
part cool
it,
with
it's
it.
only
The
one
time with
character that
Biscuit,
throws that off. It's only one character.
Ahsoka.
Yes, that's the only
Yeah,
person. Like if you take
yeah.
Hisoka out, then yes, it's family friendly.
Okay, I can
You
give you that
can't
because Ahsoka is
because
very, yeah.
because you show that to a 5-year-old, he might, daddy, like it'll throw you off. You'll be
Yeah,
like,
it's a little weird.
because he's bright. He has bright colors, and like children are attracted to that when they're younger, so they might try and mimic
Yeah.
him. Daddy, your body's not ready. And
Oh no.
see, you see
Yeah,
how
I
wrong
can
that would be.
understand.
If
I can
literally, if
understand,
if
but
my son rolled up behind me right now with a card in his hand, wearing like a cut off tank top like Hisoka, and said, "Dad, your power level's not up to mine yet," in a stance, he's gonna catch his Gomu Gomu fist.
um,
But I really
yeah,
to cut in really quick because you're right because it's like it probably is dealing with like the early 2000s and like censorship at the time because then you look at like
Got a
Fist
point.
of North Star and like
right,
Akira, like those are
right,
super gory, like, not at all
Ghost in the
similar to
Shell.
people. Ghost in the Shell, that's
right,
another great example.
right.
But then you hit like the early 2000s to like maybe early 2010s where it's like, you know, there's 4Kids, WB, like they took animes and like made them really kid friendly. Even now, Yu-Gi-Oh is still like kid friendly. But like that censorship it was not as bad as back then, where they're just like, we don't want this property, we're not gonna distribute it.
So
Kind of thing, you know?
to bounce
Right.
off of what you just said, Joker, that just hit my brain when you said 4 Kids. Shaman King. Shaman King came out back in the day, and then Netflix remade it, and they actually made it more towards the manga, which it had a little more gore. Things were a little more fast paced with the story. I like the Netflix version better, but the 4 Kids one hits because I watched that growing up. Because I remember
Right.
my first time reading the manga, and I'm like, okay, I remember some of the stuff, but that Iron Maiden closing on somebody, that was no Iron Maiden in the 4 Kids version.
Right.
Literally, when she closed that thing up and bodied Homeboy, I'm like, yeah, I can see why they didn't do this version when I was growing up.
Yeah, now, yeah, exactly. And just even at that though, again, kind of doubling down on Joker's point, it's like like censorship was another level
Yes, it
because even
was.
the tone was changed. Like Shaman King is a great example of that, where it's like when I watched the Netflix version, I'm like, wow, this is kind of like this is kind of wow. I didn't. Was it like this? Was it like this when I was a kid? Like even the sadness in it is like, was it like this when I was a kid? And it's like, no, it wasn't. They like really toned everything up. It was like, whoa, like let's Yay, kids! Yay! It just gave that
Our
energy.
friendship kind of thing, you know,
Yeah,
like that kind of
yeah.
crap.
And then the great example. That was a great example of that because yeah, it really there was a huge tone shift. But you know what it is? I think Dragon Ball. So Dragon Ball came out in the '80s,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like, wow. You had new anime fans that are lifelong, and I notice every time a Dragon Ball anything comes out because I see them in my theaters. Like these are 40-year-olds,
Hmm.
and they are so like they were sold. I asked them, I'm like, was this what got you? And they were like, not only did this get me into anime, it made me say I'm gonna stay in anime forever. Was how much they just enjoy as kids Dragon Ball. And I understand it after watching Dragon Ball. Like this is like that Bruce Lee kind of setup where if you see like Bruce Lee movies, um, they're mad calm and chill, and then they get into like these tournament arcs, like up the scenes in Bruce Lee movies, like when he's in the airport coming to the event or whatever, and he's talking to the girls, and they got like the side black character, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm cool," and then it's just like real, it's real like calm and collected. And then when they have to like the moment you get to like the arena and the fight, it's like like it's almost like the Western movies where they do the draw. It like creates that feel, and then they just start going and fighting. And Bruce Lee's like, "Wah!" It's like I love like growing up. I used to watch that too, and I loved it. Like it would lock you in. Once you got into it, you were locked in with Bruce Lee movies, and Dragon Ball was the original, just the Dragon Ball, not Z, was exactly like that, where it was like you're getting all of those same things, but you're getting mad episodes, you're getting animation, so you're getting a pole that can extend pause, but a pole that can extend 15 feet in the air, and you're getting clouds that can make you travel. You're getting like Piccolo, which is like, what is that? You're getting like all of these different fantastic elements to it as well. But you're still at the root of it getting like
Not,
that Bruce Lee fighting, which is what was happening in that, like that when you think of like 70s, 80s, this is what like the older cousin was into. So you were probably in the 80s watching it because your older cousin watched it. Like my father grew up with Bruce Lee. Um, so like the my cousins that are older than me but younger than my dad, like he would have been like, yo, you need to watch Bruce Lee. So to get Dragon Ball was like, whoa. And it was perfect on again anchoring a base. Like now that kids saw this, they're like, I'm in. I'm sold. Now let me see about Akira. Let me see about all of these different anime that are out there as well. 90s roll around, you get Dragon Ball Z. You get Yu Yu Hakusho. You're getting all of you're getting more now. You're getting more of these anime that are like making people into anime fans. So you got that build up in the 80s with Detective Conan from 80s too, I believe. Uh,
Hmm.
ooh.
Another one where it's like you're getting people hooked on a genre, and then you see how it can work in the 80s. Now you're watching it carry over into the 90s. By the time they got to the 2000s, they were like, you put the child you I don't it needs to be the most childish that we are getting them as
Hmm.
babies. If we can get them as infants, you get them in there. Whatever you need to pass those censorships, I don't care.
See,
Hmm.
Do it so you can get them. I really feel like that's
you,
You
probably
were
where that
it,
evolved from.
it's something that you just said, Joker. Give me 30 seconds.
no, you're good.
You
You're good.
you saying that how it pulled us in, and now they had to change things to get the babies in. No child would be watching Dragon Ball. There's a lot of innuendo in there. Like it's like me watching Gumball today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want my little girl watching Gumball because
Right.
they hit you with everything, or a regular show or Adventure Time. They gotta my child gotta be 10 to watch those shows to for me to be like, okay, I can
Yeah, I
explain
get
this to
that.
you. But that scene in Dragon Ball where Bulma's trying to get the Dragon Ball from Goku and she sleep, and he crawls up and lifts her skirt up and goes, huh,
Mhm.
something's missing here.
Yeah.
Something subtle like that, us, we know that's hilarious. But to a child, what is he talking
Hmm.
about? And then it makes the
But
child
that's
go deeper
exactly
and
why.
deeper and deeper. Yep.
Yeah.
But that's exactly why by the time you got to 2000, it wasn't like, oh, go have your kid watch Dragon Ball. It was, oh, go have your kid watch Shaman King. Oh, go have your kid watch Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh, go
Hmm.
have your kid watch Pokemon. because they knew like they were thinking like you. They were
Especially
thinking just like that.
especially in Yu Yu Hakusho, he has hands E for everyone. When he fought against the one chick, and turns out that she was a dude, and he explained how he figured that out. That scene would have got canceled in this day and age.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
scene would have got canceled.
I feel like that's like a very good point though overall, just because like as soon as like people were like, "Yo, anime's big, like we gotta jump on this bandwagon now," and they did that in the early 2000s, and then like best example for this, 4Kids, you know how they grabbed Shaman King, Yu-Gi-Oh, all that stuff. They were grabbing anime so quickly that they didn't even know if it was suitable enough, like without severely editing it down. Look at One Piece. When they got their hands on One Piece,
Great
they
example.
didn't even know how it was just like, yo, how are we gonna cover this up? They skipped a lot of arcs. Some like the action scenes where it's like one of them where Luffy was getting like shot up with like these like spiky bullets. Oh, they were just plunger shots. Oh, he's just taking them out. Like what? What
Sanji's
is this censorship?
cigarette smoking was replaced with a toothpick, I believe, right?
Or a lollipop. Like
A lollipop, yeah.
that kind of stuff. Blood gone. None of it existed. And they skipped arcs and they stopped I think right before they got Chopper. So it's just like they were trying to jump in this bandwagon so quickly, and honestly, why it probably led to their downfall, that they were like, "Yo, what are we gonna do with this now? Like, how are we gonna make this into something suitable for kids?" And they managed. They somehow did it. They just really cut it down to where it's just like, why would you ever watch this now? Like, if
Yeah.
no,
Right,
unless
exactly.
like for the memes, like oh the yo ho ho like opening whatever, like that's one thing, but like you just rather just watch what came out before in Japan and was not heavily edited down. So like yeah, like that's like the terrible age of anime in the early 2000s.
It really was, because it made me go back to watching Yu Yu Hakusho at least like 5 straight times. Because I felt like around that time it was dumbed down just so that they can bring people in. I get it. You're marketing to another set of another audience, but yeah, you lost out on some people. But then once they were able to get back into it, we were able to actually enjoy it again.
Would y'all surmise that's why certain shows such as Naruto that came out, I think in the late 90s, Bleach came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, I believe. Both of them probably came out around that time. Do you think that's the reason why they were so prominent? Because of since
When did
so
Naruto
many
come out?
companies were just diluting the market, just trying to get animated stories from Japan over to America and trying to sell it off and everything like that. Do y'all think that had a exact impact on Naruto and Bleach and the acceptance of that, since those stories were so, I guess you would say, sought after?
Yeah, Naruto really played it safe. Like manga wise, there wasn't really anything crazy in Naruto, so they were able to rock with it. And I'm not gonna lie, Naruto is probably the only one that like really pulled me in, that gave me that Dragon Ball Z feel to fill that void. Besides all my other '90s anime, because I didn't really go bonkers with anime until like later on when I was in high school to college. But growing up, I did watch Yu Yu Hakusho, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, uh, original Berserk. But that's neither here nor there. My parents don't even know I watched that. But yeah, it was like a total different time. They Bleach.
Yeah.
Bleach wasn't crazy. Naruto wasn't crazy, and what was it? Some of the sports animes that they were able to make work wasn't over the top.
I
I
feel
think
like
if anything, yeah.
Oh, so-
Yep.
go
No,
ahead.
you go,
No.
Joker.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
The only, and it's real quick, but the only thing that I really did kind of realize from them doing that is ironically the same thing that they were trying to usher more of, it ended up constricting it. Like the kids now had this place to go, but there were still anime that had a kidlier vibe that you like. A lot of people I know got really late into it. Like Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach, they came out and were on. I believe they were animated by like '02, but like the most, I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty confident it did. And if it didn't, then that is another impact that it had, is that it pushed a lot, like the stuff that had maybe more questionable content or maybe more geared towards like teen or even adult in some aspects. Those anime got pushed. They either got pushed out later and they came out in like '05, which might be true. But I don't think it was that late. And then if it wasn't that, it took until like about '05 anyways for people to like, hey, are you watching Naruto? Are you like, are you gravitating to One Piece? Now, don't get me wrong. There were fans that were absolutely there from the very, very beginning. But it's just all like the ones that you talk to that were like kids, like I was a kid during that time.
Mhm.
A lot of us say like, yeah, like if you notice that, it just asks people like, when did you start with like Naruto or Bleach or One Piece? And don't get me wrong, Toonami had a huge role to play. That obviously was a huge help for a lot of this stuff. But most of them, it was like '05, '06, '07 that they started to get into it. And it's like, if if you had companies like For Kids that weren't just like overly trying to do it and like overly trying to control, I guess you could say, like the anime market in that time, how many more people could have possibly even came in to the anime fray? I probably wouldn't be introducing people my age to anime now. To be honest with you, like if we were all kids and it was that large library just kind of put on the same platform, like everybody's at the same pedestal. Yeah, I feel like most of the anime fans I know now would have been anime fans for as long as I've been an anime fan or longer. I feel like yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, and I was thinking about the question, just like I feel like it's mainly dependent on the fact that 4 Kids did not pick up Naruto. 4 Kids did not pick up Bleach. Like whoever, I don't know who picked up those like those animes as like studios, but they like you mentioned Toonami. You know, I remember watching Naruto as a kid on Toonami, Adult Swim, and some of it was like cut out, like some sections were cut out for censorship, but it was not done to the degree that like we saw with One Piece. So I felt like Bleach and Naruto was able to prosper more to like what we originally saw. Like if say you watch the Japanese version, and people were able to still enjoy it for what it was without many major changes. People still complained, of course, but because of those specific studios not deciding to follow the
Butcher
herd
it.
in that case, yeah, to
Yeah.
butcher it, you know, I feel like that's why Naruto and Bleach did well in that time, despite other studios kind of following on that bandwagon of like, let's censor this stuff down for like kids and all that kind of crap.
Yeah. Because that's what I gravitated to. And now I'm like, how did I miss One Piece? Like, I'm like,
Hmm.
wow, how did I miss One Piece? I had to literally, I found out about One Piece when, I'll show you how late they were in Dressrosa
Oh,
when I found out about, like, when I actually got into One Piece. And I'm like,
really?
I'm watching Dressrosa with no understanding of what I'm watching because of if One Piece is One Piece, you guys a lot.
Hmm.
So like if you just jump in the middle of One Piece, you will be lost. You will be like, what is happening? There's too much going on.
Hmm.
And then I enjoyed it. So I was like, all right, I gotta go back and figure this show out.
Hmm.
And when I did, I was like, how did I not watch this with Naruto and Bleach? But like you just defined it because
Hmm.
boom, that's that 4 Kids effect.
Yup.
Yeah. Despite the fact that I was watching Yukio and whatnot, but like it just I looked at Yukio as like daytime television, and
Hmm.
I looked at Naruto and Bleach as like, all right, this is where I'm grown for the night.
Hmm.
Like this is that big boy. I'm a big boy right now. Like this is what that felt. That's what it felt like.
Hmm.
So seeing One Piece come on with Toonami, I was like, what the is this little dumb? Like, why is this here?
Hmm.
Why is this here? That's how it felt. It was like, why is this here? This should be, if you want me to watch this, put this on with Yukio,
Well,
and
my
then maybe I will.
what's kind of funny is like when it comes to certain shows like that. Prime example, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. Their mangas are dark,
Hmm.
and Yu-Gi-Oh they changed the whole story up. Yes, it has the same characters in the manga, but you got some chainsaw dude ready to chop somebody's head off in one of the rooms that Kaiba set them up in when they were on their way to get granddad.
Hmm.
It wasn't a simple he got to the place and they started fighting and then the Exodia got pulled. It
Right.
was more than that. And then with Pokemon, You got Pokemon dying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong, Joker?
No,
No,
you are
yeah.
not. I've read some of the old Pokemon manga. Not only were Pokemon decapitated, there was a lot of artists at that time who were former hentai artists who drew very explicit female characters. Then it was a very not like
Rule
kid-friendly
34?
manga at all.
Quite friendly.
Rule 34?
I guess, yeah. Like there was, it was bad. It's like reading as an adult, it's fine because like I'm exposed to that stuff already. But as a kid, that's not kid-friendly material at all. So like, and of course, it's not even just like the studio itself that like censored down stuff in general. Like they censored, rice ball for a jelly donut. That's the worst thing that they did. The anime itself was more curated for a kid audience. So, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right, Tsmoov.
So
Yeah,
did
Rob.
everybody answer for the anime that they
So,
wish kept going? Oh, I think Joker,
I-
you have.
I did not actually. No, because we went on like a whole like side tangent just because of Dead Man Wonderland. It's just being like
Yeah.
that's a good choice. I won't lie to you, it's a very good choice.
Don't get me started.
But I have like a couple, and I wouldn't say like cancel per se. It's more so like anime that kind of ended, but it never ended the way that the manga ended. So like it went on its own its own anime ending. Like think of Fullmetal Alchemist and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like that's the kind of like anime that like I have three of them are like that. So like Soul Eater, Hitman Reborn, kind of, Ranma half, or one half, and then Noragami like ended, but it never
Yes.
continued.
Oh,
So, like,
yes.
So Soul Eater, Ranma one half, and Hitman Reborn, they just never reached the ending that the manga put out because they were going alongside it, and they caught up and they were like, we're just gonna stop here, and I've never seen in any case that like an anime that like does its own anime ending ends well, because then you got Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, which basically finishes the job exponentially well, where it's always number one on any list, right? And then there are some cases where it's like Hitman Reborn, where like it ended but never did the the manga ending. But it's also because like in this case, why would you? Because the manga ending wasn't very good. So it's kind of like that toss up as well. Even though I'd still would like to see it animated, so that because there's a bunch of people out there in the anime community who don't read manga at all, they could benefit from just or just find out like the ending of this anime that they love so much, from just getting more of it, and there is an audience for that. Like kind of plugging in my YouTube here really quick, I made a YouTube video on Ranma half, a guy who falls in a spring that is half guy half girl. I talked about the anime and why it deserves a remake, because not only is like the other work this mangaka Rumiko Takahashi made, Urusei Yatsura is coming out now with a modern adaptation compared to the old one she made. I think it could benefit from that because it never finished. It literally was like, oh, there's this like main character's mom visiting, not wanting to expose his secret of being half boy half girl, and then after that is settled, they're like, bye. They literally just like, see you later. They just walk off. They don't go further into any of the like arcs that they do in the manga. Nothing with the actual ending. Like all of that is just left on the table. Nothing done with it. So like I talked about that a lot because of just me watching it when I was a kid. I really enjoyed Ranma one half, but it sucked seeing anime like that just not be continued, be canceled in that sense,
No.
So those are like the ones that I would say, because even like Noragami was nothing but like heat, but it stopped just because like the manga, it caught up with the manga, and yes, it recently finished, I believe. But I don't know if we'll get a further adaptation from it, again, a la Fullmetal Alchemist, but that's left to be seen.
You made a good point about like how some animes have a different ending to the manga. One of my favorite, it's in my top 5. It's underrated. Not many people watch it. Mirror Nikki, Future Diary.
Oh
It's great.
my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
Did I just unlock a memory for you?
Yeah, because I remember binge watching that as soon as I found it on Funimation. I was just like, oh my god, this is so good. And then in retrospect, it's not a very good like anime. It's really bad, but it's
good
in my opinion, like so bad that it's good.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
It's the anime that first started off like the tsundere, kind of aspect, and it's
Mm-hmm.
very popular for that. I remember watching a video by Scamboli Reviews, and he does an awesome deep dive about like why this is trash and why people like it.
Hmm.
And it's super funny because none of it makes sense, but the stories all over the place, but it's still enjoyable to a degree, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Andy Rome's came in Yandere. Yeah.
Oh, Yandere, sorry, not Tsudere. Yandere.
See,
But
I love it how he
yeah,
comes in here to correct people out right out the
I like
gate.
that he came in to correct me.
Right.
It's funny because before I had asked John to join in on us once we found out D wasn't gonna make it, they having a whole conversation yesterday while we were at a Tekken party, and I'm like, it hit my ear. I was like, "Er?"
Yep.
I feel like I was listening. I felt like I was listening to a podcast while I was there. I was like, hey, what about this?
Hmm.
But like, you're right. It's so bad that it's good. But my thing is, first time watching it, I didn't see it as bad. I've watched it about 10 times. I got it on my hard drive. I've watched it so many times. I've read the manga so many times, and I like the manga ending better. I hate to say it, for the simple fact, I didn't like the cookie cutter happiness ending. For him to, I want to be with Yuna for the rest of my life. I I don't care. I don't care. You've seen everything that occurred and what this past Yuna did, and you still want to be with her? Nah, son. The way the manga ended, and he clapped her, and he just had to sit there in solace. He could have started everything back over again, but he just sat there and just took it. Just he watched everything. You get to see everybody like in the next lifetime. All the characters are back, but not. I think he's in it, but it's like he's not with her. But he's like the real one is like just sitting there with that. What was it? The little. I think of him as the little Sonic pals that be bouncing around. I forgot her name, but he's just sitting there. She's like, "Don't you want to start it all over again?" No. Don't you want to? No. Because he didn't want to see no more bloodshed, but he sat there in sadness because his whole world ended after he won the game. I enjoyed that ending because it was like, why would you start this all over again? That's stupid. So for them to have a solid manga ending, because I read the manga after I watched the anime, and when I got to the end of that, I'm like, this is more fulfilling. This is straight up fulfilling, and I like this ending. Granted, yes, it's sad, but it's like, please change the ending to Demon Slayer in the anime. Please, I'm begging y'all. Yo, hashtag change Demon Slayer ending from manga. It was trash. Please do it. God. Oh, man, I'm sorry I went on that tangent.
I don't think so. It's just gonna be fleshed out. It may just get fleshed out more to where you might find that one enjoyable. But before we do pivot on to that, another one on this list for me where it's like the anime adaptation versus the manga, and anybody who has seen or read both of these, I know you're gonna agree with me right now. Promise Neverland. That was done so bad.
Oh, yes, it was.
Like, oh my god! Like I don't think that I've ever been disappointed. Like people say Attack on Titan, it is not on any level in Promise Neverland. Like remotely. That was just a nightmare.
But the bad part is season 1 was so good.
Yeah, it was literally a 10 out of 10 to like 0 out of 10 next season. Unbelievable how much they dropped the ball.
They rushed through everything in that second season just to be like, oh, it's over.
Dude, they skipped the whole like. Yo,
what was it?
So bad.
It was one
so
arc.
Bad.
You're right. It was one arc that they skipped. And I
People were
forgot.
telling me. I can't remember. It was like the best arc though. Like, I can't remember the name of it, but like they skipped it. I've never.
Yeah, because the one boy,
before.
the one boy that got taken, he just like randomly came back in the anime. But when you're reading the manga, they explain where he's been at the whole time.
And it didn't hit. Like when you see him, they still got the emotion, and it's like, no, you skipped the whole. The part that make you feel this is not there. It's just gone. It's just gone. And we just like, yeah, yo, it's like the story was telling you, like, yeah, we got to keep this going. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. We just got to go further. We gotta go. We're done. We
Never,
need to
I
hurry
never
up.
dropped something so fast. It was
Yeah,
abysmal.
Ugh.
it's terrible. It definitely, I think, 100% is in that realm though, where it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, oh,
I got through halfway of season 2 and then just dropped it. I
yeah,
tried. I tried. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just go finish reading the manga because they already missed most of the stuff. That's
Yep.
the one big thing when it being an avid like anime lover, manga lover. When you, especially a manga that you've read and they finally animate it and they take out so much stuff. You know what?
it's
I'm
crushing.
going back.
It's
One of our
like,
episodes about like live action compared to the anime.
Mm-hmm.
Yu Yu Hakusho taking away the heart out of most of those episodes just to rush us through. That's an example. We don't have to go through it, but that's how I felt like watching Promise Neverland.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yep, yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so do
dude,
I.
it's
Yeah.
crushing, and it is. You are right. When you go through reading it, and you like that's why I tell my friends all the time. I'm like, I'm not necessarily the quickest to rush to reading. Like if a new anime or like a new manga comes out, like I'm not, because it's like PTSD. You know, it's like
Mm-hmm.
if I start reading this and it's really really good, but then just for some reason the anime goes completely side, this is
Mm-hmm.
going to crush me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to actually crush my soul because that was the thing that I was waiting for. And now it's meaningless. It's like, oh, yeah. You just that's what I would say to people is like if you got a bad ending or whatever, if it's something where you watched it and you haven't read it and you got like you got to the end of it and you were like, "What is this?" Go and read it. Just go
Mm-hmm.
back and read because it probably had a different ending. There's a
Mm-hmm.
likeliness that it wasn't rushed. You get examples where inverses like with Bleach. They really rushed through with the Thousand
Yep.
Year War arc when it was being written, but with the anime we're seeing more because it's being fleshed out more, and I think that the appreciation for it, like Rob, you caught up to it via the anime.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had a went when they were shooting when it was being when they were doing the manga for it, people were pissed, like,
Mm-hmm.
because you saw what was happening. It was just being sped up to be completed. Like there was you could feel the pressure that the editors were saying to what was that, Tight Kubo? They were saying to him like, you need to get this done. We just want this to be over with. And I think he even commented on that like, hey guys, it got bad enough to where I think he had to comment on it. He was like, I this is not just me. Like they're telling me I gotta speak, I gotta finish this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 10 years later now,
Mm-hmm.
but to get the anime fleshing it out, and like I think that it's gonna make it way more enjoyable. The biggest, I'm we ain't get to the end yet. And Rob, I know you watching it via the anime, so no, I'm not doing it.
I read it the
Um,
manga after I
did
finished
you
it.
read did
Yeah,
you
I
read the
finished
full
it.
thing?
I
Okay,
finished
so spoiler alert to anybody listening that hasn't, just like mute me or mute the whole thing for a second. But has everybody else in here seen or read it at least? Just know how the ending of
Mm-hmm.
Bleach was? Okay. Um I'm really hoping that the fight with Aizen and Ichigo with Yuach is done a lot differently than it was in the anime
that
or
shit
in the manga.
flew through the manga, didn't it?
I really, yeah, I really need to see that fleshed out. I need it to make a little bit more sense because I was left feeling unsatisfied with the manga.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's an example of it where it is inverted, where you're getting that in the anime, and you can't necessarily say to the person if they don't enjoy it from the anime, go back and read the manga, because
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately you just gonna get the same thing you just watched, just a lot faster.
Yeah.
uh but yeah, those are great points.
Mm-hmm.
All right then. We're about a little bit over an hour. Might as well get into this since I feel like we were touching on it before we started actually streaming. Now, you're gonna have to come in here to elaborate
Yeah,
more on your point, but
I'm excited.
you had something in regards to Boruto, so I'm gonna let you take the floor.
So I gotta say shout out to my buddy Nar, because he was the one who sent me an article that I believe. Let me just go back here to check. I don't like not giving the proper source. It was from Sentinel Post, which I don't know what that is, but they were talking about this idea of and to anybody that hasn't read Boruto, again, this might be another spoiler alert for you. Um, but they were talking about how Naruto could get Kurama back. Um, and I don't really agree with with the article at all. I can actually put the link in here for anybody interested. I just thought about it. But I don't agree. I'm putting the link in the chat for anybody that's interested in reading the
That's the
article.
Discord. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Bet,
So
bet, bet.
but I don't agree really with it. I see they were kind of going into the omnipotence power, and though I do think that there is more that we'll see with that. In the most recent arc, we have this tail, like the 10-tailed beast. It's kind of like before it becomes the tree. Um, it before it becomes the tree, which it needs the Atsuski DNA to do. Like they kind of broke off. In the most recent chapter, they're saying that these iterations of the 10-tailed beast that broke off, they may have started the process of becoming a tree by Code's slashes, because his slashes have Atsuski DNA by design. So they might have already started to like combine the Atsuski DNA with these 10-tailed beasts that we have. And what I like was really just looking at Boruto, because I really respect Boruto for how in like individual it is, and even some of the concepts that come from Naruto. I think that that's really hard to do at times. And in the manga, at least, I love the pace. Like I love the direction that it's going and the surprises that it has. But I really tried to like put blinders on to this idea of, if those beasts could end up being the Boruto world's version of the 10-tailed beast that we were accustomed to in uh or the 9-tailed beast that we were accustomed to in Naruto. If this 10-tailed version with all of these different iterations could end up maybe playing host in the same way that who is that, Momoshiki for Boruto?
Hmm.
Yeah, like if they can end up how we know Kurama was for Naruto, we see Momoshiki has that role with Boruto in a way. Are these 10-tailed beasts going to end up either creating another set of 9-tailed beasts at the end of it, or if they would end up becoming the role of the 10-tailed beast? So, do you think that what was how did I phrase it in the let me see, let me go back to I wanted to just kind of put
The
that
main the
put my
main
mind
premise
frame in
was
there.
basically Naruto getting or creating a pathway to New Tail Beast. And
That was with the article. That was with the.
in
Hmm.
essence, yeah. In essence.
Yeah.
The article was a little different from what Nile was saying though.
Hmm.
Because I think in the article it was more so talking about Ada's omnipotence being a factor into it, since it was able to rewrite basically everybody's history and basically rewrite chakra that's connected all of these people's memories together. Maybe it could rewrite the chakra that Karama was made from and rebuild him. That was in the
That's the
article.
article.
What Nile was saying was that 10-tailed beasts that are, or the little offshoots that Code made, the ones that are now sentient and are, um, I can't remember, Shinju. I think they called them Shinju and everything like that. And all of them, are they capable of creating tailed beasts from there, or becoming
Hmm.
tailed beasts within themselves at some point in time?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I
Thanks, Rob.
think,
You said that perfectly.
I think, I don't think that Kurama, if he does come back, I don't think he'll come back. I actually side kind of with the article to a
Hmm.
standstill, because now the 10-tailed beasts, they're already sentient as is. We already know what they are trying to do. We already know what they become if they just bite into another person. And we know that obviously Shinji that are completely different than just the regular gremlins that Code made, that don't have any type of IQ points or anything like that. We know that these ones are actually evolved and trying to go specific goal, trying to kill somebody, not eat them, but kill them. At the end of the day, they still know the main goal is to eat either Kawaki or Boruto to fulfill their needs. But at the end of the day, they still are influenced by that Ishiki Otsutsuki DNA coming through the white karma seal that Cole has. So I don't think that they could come back. I think if they are able to find a way, I think how Boruto is setting it up, obviously we know that the foundations for Boruto, as you would say, Naruto and Sasuke, the main foundations for where Boruto comes, um, they are out of the picture right now. I think that how the mangaka is going right now, especially how fast he's going through, I feel like they're coming back with a new power up of some sort. I find it odd on the panel where we've seen Sasuke in the tree, where it's covering up the eye that he was stabbed in by Boruto, and it's covering up the arm in which he lost. I feel like in some form of capacity, once they kill the Otsutsu or the Ten Tails clone of Sasuke, then in that process, just like how Hagoromo, I think just Ten Tails in general, they're just filled with chakra to a point where I guess I feel like it would heal somebody. And if you're in that tree
Mm-hmm.
for such a long time, basically in a stasis, I feel like in that same capacity, it can heal you. So I feel like Sasuke is gonna come back. I feel like Naruto's gonna come back. I just don't know how Kurama would be a factor. I feel like he would, unless he just unlocked a certain level of sage jutsu that we've never heard. He's been in the void that Kawaki put him in the Daikokuten, and just been absorbing nature energy this whole entire time, which could possibly be it. I just don't know, but I feel like they're gonna come back. I just don't know if it's any of these um things. In a sense of power, but that's still at the end of the day, it won't matter too much because now they're facing threats that even Naruto and Sasuke was getting past in, and they're
Yeah.
strongest.
Mhm.
It's four if I'm not mistaken. It's yeah. They're not even worried about Kawaki. You got to keep that in mind, though. Remember, they're not even worried about. They're only worried about fire.
I was muted. My bad. But
No,
like in a sense where let me revert back since Mr. Andy Rome's wanted to correct me that I was muted and I'm an idiot. Um, yeah. So in a sense, what you're saying is that Team Seven is coming back with a buff and not a nerf. So in a sense where to pretty much even out against the threat, the big bad. Because honestly, I don't think these four trees are. I think they're like mini bosses to the big boss.
Mhm.
Because remember, Cold ran away. I feel like Cold is cooking. He ran away. He ran away. But
Cold is
I've
mid. He damn sure not gonna be the bad.
no. But
The
I
bad
didn't.
boss.
But that's the thing. You didn't let me finish. You cut me off, sir. You
Go
cut
ahead.
me off. I feel like Cold is cooking something up. Remember, he worked on those four trees. He might be working on something
Yeah, he
greater.
did. He didn't work on those four trees. Keep in mind, he didn't even know that that was going to happen until Boruto said something to his ass, and then he was just as shocked when Boruto pulled up on him after he hit him with the Uzuhiko.
No,
He
I
went back
get
to the
that.
Ten Tails.
I get
He
that.
looked at Boruto,
I
looked back,
get
Ten
that.
Tail was gone,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's these other
But what I'm
niggas. He
saying
didn't
is
even know that
that,
was going
but
to
the
happen.
same thing might happen. He might take what he did with these trees and try and figure out what he can do to repeat it, and
I don't.
it's going to literally lead to one giant big bad. What
I
what
don't.
I'm saying is it might end up to where he might end up with let's say okay, so right now Boruto knows the flying Raijin. Boruto has that Rasengan that pretty much you'll keep spinning as long as the earth is spinning. What if is this leading to? Because remember, Orochimaru was able to bring back the four Hokages. One, two, three. 4? Was it 4? No, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah,
Nah, 3.
yeah. No. He brought back 4.
Orochimaru brought 3.
He
They
brought
stopped
3.
the fourth one from coming.
Yeah,
They stopped the
no.
fourth one from coming.
I'm not.
Kabuto brought 4.
I'm talking about in the Great Ninja War when they were fighting
Oh, yeah,
Madara.
Kabuto, yeah.
Okay, but my thing is this: what if he's planning something where the big bad has all 4 of the Hokage's abilities? He finds a way to try to figure something out, and that's the big bad. And of course, you will need Naruto, Sasuke, Boruto, and Kawiki to work together to stop this big bad. That's why I'm wondering. It's literally a thought process. I know you're turning your head thinking I'm crazy, but it's a theory of mine right now. With everything,
I would understand it though if Code was built to be such a smart individual.
but he's not. Look, but you're right. Look at what he did though.
Hold up. But he's not. This.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you. It was Orochimaru that brought all 4 of them back during the Great Ninja War, not Kabuto.
It wasn't Kabuto.
It was Orochimaru. It was Orochimaru. It was Orochimaru.
Sasuke asked him for assistance, wasn't it? I thought Kabuto brought him back, and then they ended up changing.
No.
Okay,
At that point, Kabuto was still stuck in that. He was still
snake form.
Yeah, he was still stuck in. Well, not just that, but remember, and I might have it messed up, but Itachi, he stuck him in that thing, that
he's
like eternal.
He's a Nagi.
Yeah, and he was still, and then when he came out of that though, wasn't the Hokages are already brought back at that point, right?
Yeah, I think so. But my whole thing is, it's literally a theory because I'm thinking Colt messed up the first time. What's to say he don't mess up the second time trying to reproduce what he did, but made it twice over? That's what I'm getting at. It could be said. Okay. What's your butt?
The only thing is, he would be able to reproduce it if he reproduced it the first time knowingly.
I understand
He never produced it for the first time knowingly.
But
to know them, this is the same man that got packed up by a 10-year-old with one kick after he got his limiters removed. This is the same man that simped over Shawty, got fucking whisked away by the nigga that he was fighting over because he couldn't fucking fight back, and got packed up again. This is the same nigga that had the thing, though, rotation.
All of those points, though, they kind of do make me think like maybe he does have, because that's been the case, that there could possibly be a larger plan with him. That like you can't like there's a lot of mystery right now in regards to that, because we just got these new characters, and then on top of that, Cole, who was like, I agree, he was. It seemed like he was gonna be a problem, but he hasn't really been. He has been a problem, but he hasn't been a problem. You know, like he's been a problem for what he's been doing and these beasts that came from it. But in terms of like his actual combat and his interaction, he hasn't been a problem.
His mess up is a problem. His mess up is a problem.
Yeah.
So
I can see now where if like after he finds an opportunity to kind of like come in and do some fuckery with the rest of the 4 clones after they're somehow dispersed of by the Hidden Leaf ninjas or whoever else helps them, and then because I feel like they brought up Shibai for a reason, just like they brought up the Sage of Six Paths in Naruto. We were all clamoring, who is the Sage of Six Paths? Who is the Sage of Six Paths? And then we actually get to see him closer to the end of the series, and all of the questions that we had in regards to this serious figure gets answered. I feel like they brought up Shibai for a specific reason. We still don't know about the Jogan. And y'all might be right. Code might be the catalyst. For whatever reason, he's.
But it could go differently too.
Yeah, that's why. That's why it's a theory. I'm not saying that Code is going. He's the big bad, but like you said, what I'm saying is he's the catalyst. He didn't know that stuff was going to happen with the 4, with the Tail Beasts forming 4 different versions that can literally think and breathe on their own and do whatever they want. But what I'm saying is, let's say at this point, all 4 of them get packed up. Or in the process of them, like, one gets packed up, it could be a moment he grabs the body and takes it back to where he's working on another experiment. And in the midst of that, said experiment goes awry because he gets the 4 body thinking that he's about to actually reproduce what he was trying to do, make up for his mistakes, and it ends up blowing back up in his face, and that whatever that entity wherever that entity is, right, claps Code in the process. And in the midst of that, Kawiki releases Naruto and Hinata from that thing. Then
Kawaki.
Kawaki, my bad. Kawaki releases Naruto and Hinata. Then Sasuke gets healed up from being in that tree. And then you got Kawaki coming back to the folk, like actually in his mindset, doing the right thing. And then you got Boruto, who literally knows everything about his like the ability, the flying Raijin. He already leveled up. So you literally have 4 of the most powerful ninjas per se, because it's always more powerful ones, since Boruto's more powerful than Naruto. In this big fight against the like the big bad, like just like how Naruto and Sasuke fought at the end of in the Shippuden.
Kaguya.
Yeah, Kaguya and the end of Shippuden. That's what I'm getting at. I feel like they're going with that same thing, but it's just like it's all 4 of them's gonna fight the big bad in the end, whoever it is. And I feel like Cole is gonna mess up again, thinking that he's gonna do something that worked for him, and it's going to lead to him. Yeah, it's going to lead to him getting clapped, and whatever that being is. That's literally what I was leading to. And you cut me off saying I'm wrong.
I can see that. I'll let you finish. I can see that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you.
I can see that. We fight like brothers, man.
Ty no sign.
Yeah, I love. That's what I'm saying. This is my favorite part. I just shut up for it because it's my favorite part of the show.
How you
God.
feeling,
And it's dope.
I'm feeling good. I'm enjoying just the banter back and forth, because it's good to have this kind of discussion, because I'm not always a big fan of echo chambers, and it's literally but that, just based off of like the possibility of Kurama coming back or not. And like, you know, I agree. I think Code is like a complete imbecile. Like, he does things on accident and it works for some reason.
Yeah.
But I feel like it could turn out where he does another accident and it makes things worse. Or it could be that he's just like, you know what? I'm not stupid anymore. I actually did it. And then he does something. Like, think of like the Spot from Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
Think about it like that, where he's like, I'm not a joke to you no more, kind of thing. So like, I could see that happening. And then like going to like to Kurama, I don't know. I feel like Kurama might come back just based off of the storytelling of the mangaka. I feel like that's something that they would do. I don't know how they would do it, if it's based off of the trees or something else. And I feel like if he did come back, I feel like it'd be better if it was linked more to Boruto than just going back to Naruto and like Sasuke and like Team 7 in general, because it kind of like downplays like anything that Boruto went through. And also this is Boruto's like time, you know, like this isn't Naruto like part 34 or whatever. This is Boruto's next part after the time skip. Like, give the man some time to like do what he needs to do. He got shit on a lot by the anime community for not just the anime for how it was portrayed, but just how he is as a person overall. You know, when he first, you know, showed up, you know, I feel like you know, me being part of those people too, like being a part of like the audience where I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, Boruto sucks. Reading this new, you know, time skip manga of Boruto like has renewed that interest for me, and I would really love to see more of what Boruto has to offer in terms of storytelling and just being like a good character with all of it, without Naruto, you know, the head of all of this franchise, being there to kind of like save him or to just add more, or add reason for why people should read it. Oh, because Naruto's in it. No, read it because Boruto's in it and he's doing some good shit. So like, maybe link, if Kurama comes back, link it up with Boruto a bit. Like, let's see something that Naruto can't do before, and then, you know, as they do, like, oh, now he's stronger than Naruto, you know, next level form, that kind of thing. But like, I'd rather see that than just him go back to Naruto and just kind of bring back that old dynamic. I'm like, it's old, it's been done, do something new, you know, more interesting.
Let's take it a step further though.
What, it's like 6 chapters? No, you're good. It's like 5 chapters so far, and it's pretty good. I'll say.
But let's take it a little further though. I want to double down on what he's saying. Like, I get it. You don't want the same formula where Naruto gets back Kurama. What if he gets him back just for that fight? But you're right. Link him over to Boruto for a split second, because Naruto did do that in his first fight. I think it was in the movie with Boruto. When Boruto had that Rasengan that disappears, Naruto powered it up, letting him have his shine, because Naruto couldn't do nothing against that enemy.
But I feel like that's more so just a specific move instead of like an actual power up. Like you look at like Naruto's like different forms, like that's forms he's doing with Kurama. That was just a specific move that he's like, here you go, son, use this. That is it. Like if we could get like the fact that Boruto has his own individual set of powers and further enhanced by Kurama's like own abilities, that could be fire. That could be great. You know, never before seen like like a new transformation that far surpasses Boruto,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that Boruto has like no intent of becoming the Hokage, he just wants to be like Sasuke. You know, it could lead to something more. So like that's where I disagree with you on that, but you know, like I would like to see something like that.
To add on to Joker's point, there was actually, I don't know if it was Kishimoto or Ikimoto that actually drew the panel. There was like a page, I want to say a couple years ago before Boruto was actually announced and started to be written upon, where it was Boruto in a Kurama cloak. It was Sarada with her Mangekyo Sharingan, the sun wheels in her eyes, and it was Mitsuki in the Sage snake mode. This was before Boruto was ever like agreed upon or ever started to get written upon, if I'm mistaken. And I think that to your point, you were saying if you want Kurama to come back, you would want it to be in Boruto's hands. And I feel like with the powers that he's already showing right now, like he's already a top tier. He's probably stronger than Naruto with Kurama. To be
He could
honest
do
with
more
you,
like one jutsu, so yeah, like not to crap for Naruto, but like he did the flying Raijin. I was like, no way. There's no way he
Mhm.
just pulled the flying Raijin like that, or just like the fact that even in base Boruto, he's done more than just different Rasengans and different Shadow Clone techniques. You know, there's definitely more I could see him using with those ninjutsus. On top of maybe other ones that Boruto learned like between the time skip. You know, so like I agree, like that would be sick.
Can
it's
I
great. Yeah, go ahead.
can I so I got a confession. Um
Oh shit.
I'm
Here
the
we
only
go.
this the only I'm the only Boruto fan that feel this way. I know I am. It's okay. It's just it make me laugh because I know I am. I love Himawari. I love Himawari.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
gotta come in too.
I love her, and I have been saying since the anime episode where she interacted with Kurama, I was like I want this to foreshadow her getting Kurama. It probably isn't needed. It probably isn't
I
needed.
could like that. That could possibly be the dormant factor or helping the
That
dormant factor.
that would be fam because you know
Like,
how she got the things on the cheek like Boruto does and like Naruto does too. Remember when Naruto first got Kurama and he is like intensified out like real crazy when he was
mm-hmm.
fight. Like the best example is when he was fighting Sasuke. That's when I think it was like the most extreme at the first time they fought at the statues. Um, I just like have this image of her with that in my head. I'm just like, nah, I want to see that. I just want to see it. I've been
See,
stuck on it for so
honestly,
long.
I think that'll be a broken combo. You add her with the Byakugan because honestly, in my opinion, going back to like earlier Boruto, I watched the episodes. Honestly, probably one of my favorite episodes. When he had the sand tail beast with him, like in that cup, and you see him Himiara
Yes.
like go bonkers for a second, like she was like not conscious, but her Byakugan was taking over or something, and then she hit Naruto and Kurama like in the chakra point and made them both knock out. The fact that like in that moment, I felt like she was more powerful than like Naruto in that moment. Like for her to, even though granted Naruto wasn't on his guard because it's his daughter, I feel like if she had the best practice, the best execution, and she hit that chakra point, it's over. Like
Bruh,
that's
she been
Neji times
training.
10.
She
Like,
been
bruh,
training, Vortex.
she
She
yo,
been training.
I'm gonna
Ooh,
say
better wait till
this.
my girl cook.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh.
I'm gonna stand on business with this one. Hear me. If she gets Kurama mixed with her ability,
She be crazy.
I
Yeah, I
I
can give you that.
she beats Boruto hands down, hand to hand,
No,
hand to hand, hand to
I
hand,
don't know
can't.
about that.
hand to hand.
Listen, you gotta remember this. Listen, though,
Nah,
you gotta. I'm gonna tell you this right now. The way I feel about Himurari, I feel like more people are going to come on this chain because when she
Oh
start
yeah.
hitting all of these 80 palms,
Mm-hmm.
like her uncle Neji, and
Mm-hmm.
y'all start getting them Neji feels,
Yeah.
y'all gonna be like, Himurari is my
That's what I
girl.
need. That's
And
what I
I
need.
can't. Oh, I can't. It's
I've been
happening.
waiting on
If it
that
don't, I'm
too.
going to Japan.
It's been like
This one got me. This one got me. I'm be
it's been
like, you
like
let the ball down.
3, 4, 5 characters that we're still curious about how far their training has gone. Even Boruto, I feel like we just tapped the surface. He just pulled out purple lightning, like that was just
Yeah,
a miscellaneous jutsu
dude,
that he was just
Geki.
using to get out of this shit. Type
Mm-hmm.
of thing. We still waiting on Mitsuki to see all of his jutsus. I'm still waiting on
You,
Sarah
you,
to see what type of new shit she
Yep.
got.
I'm gonna be honest.
Supposedly,
Dude.
it was some theories about her getting Itachi's weapons from his Susanoo and getting it passed down since she's still a part of the same lineage type of thing. I feel like that would be dope. The Totsuka blade, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, her Susanoo about to be
Mm.
great. Cause
And
you know
then,
it's gotta be crazy. They always make them
mhm,
crazier.
mhm.
Like each one ends up being like I thought Itachi's was fire, and
and
then
hers,
Sasuke was like, hold my cup.
Mm-hmm.
And
hers
then so like
is the difference too because hers was only sparked on by love, where everybody
yeah,
else's was sparked on by it
Sadness
was
and
still
death.
love, but it was sadness and misery and turmoil and everything like that.
hers
So
about to look like Sukuna with wings. I can't wait.
See,
yeah,
my
I
my my,
can't wait.
my whole
mhm.
thing is like it's one character, even though we haven't seen him yet in Blue Vortex. It's one I told y'all I despise. Metal Lee. If that man draws up any type of confidence and he's not scared, you have taijutsu like your daddy. If he can unlock the gates and still and utilize the weapons like Tintin, bruh, he would be a dope side character.
They ain't gonna
This
tap in with
better
metal.
end.
I'm gonna be
No,
honest
but
with you.
like
They ain't
this,
gonna tap in
I'm
with metal. Lee.
But that's the thing. That's something like me being a big Rock Lee fan. It's like I wanted that, and then when they showed him and he was like like he was like a sad little
I feel,
boy.
I feel like they been took him out ever since the drunken escapade after he fought Gaara in the first Naruto. After that, I feel like they was probably like, all right, we're gonna go in a different direction. We're not gonna flesh out Rock Lee like that. If anything, we'll use Mike Guy because at least he
yeah,
could
they
go into
said
the 8 gates.
they said Mike
At
God.
least he
They
could go
said
into the eight
it
But
was
gates.
what I'm
I
saying is, like, I
honest.
get that though. But what I'm saying is, Metal Lee. That's what I'm talking about, though.
Nah,
I
but
like,
even then, they only showed what is it, Chocho's team and everything like that because they have a unique influence or connection with Konohamaru.
He
yeah,
So
might play a, but like he might end up playing a part like Mike Guy did though
he might.
in a larger arc, and at that point they would have to explain like what happened throughout that time and
All
such.
I'm gonna say, the
Don't
little
give up
bit,
on
the
Metal Lee.
2 minutes we see, not even 2 minutes, 10 seconds we see Rock Lee in Boruto. This nigga was jumping towards Ishiki. The next minute we didn't even see the fight, nigga. That shit went to a different screen, came back, niggas was knocked out, bro. They not gonna show his son too. I'm not capping.
so you're
I
saying they
hope they
get so literally you're telling me he got hit with the rock with the not Rock Lee with the Yamcha.
yeah,
Basically, yeah.
Uh,
yeah.
I mean, he was the Yamcha. Let's be honest with you. He was trying to fight Sasuke because he wanted to get Sakura. Got packed up then,
shut up.
and then when
Nah, his fight with Gara was
his fight with
legendary.
Gaara was legendary, and his drunken fight was fire as hell too. But then once you have my guy pull out the 8 gates, you like, fuck, what haven't we seen that this nigga Rock Lee could do?
What
If he
what is
pull out
more
the
to that?
Yo,
You know.
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Oh, I would dare. I want to see that, and then also I know it's kind of weird, but I do kind of want to see Genki. I want to see what happens with that character. I hope that they flesh that character out.
nigga turning
I
Iron
like
Man,
that.
Ninja
That's what I'm
Iron Man.
saying. Like I want to see. I know that the tech thing is something that kind of caught people by surprise, but it's a clear indication that this is a thing that's going to be utilized in the Boruto series. So you have to have a character that I feel like showcases that. Um, Here's the other thing: is what's his name still in the village? Oh my gosh, is he still in the village?
Who?
Oh, the white haired goat.
Not
Um,
Kashin Koji. Not
no, the
talking about
other
him,
one.
is it?
The
Kakashi?
other one.
K-
No, the
Gosh, shit.
scientist. The scientist.
Oh,
Oh.
Amato. Not Amato.
Amato. Yes,
Amato.
yes, Amato.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's still in there.
Is Amato still in the? See, I like they like to me. It would be such a missed opportunity. Yo, go get Genki having like a little bit of a darker period, especially as we going into Vortex where it's like darker themes. Give
Yeah.
me a dark arc, like little semi arc or little. They already do enough filler. I know filler gonna be coming. Give me a filler with like Genki training under Amato, and then like learning how to utilize not only like the ninjutsu and the Otsutsuki, like fit like DNA and technology, but also like the actual technological side that he was learning with the guy that was in the Leaf Village. Like have both of them just be like, "You are our new son," and just put this man to the task. Like, what would come from that? What would come from that? You
I
know,
say
that's why I want to see it, because it's like I can't even really imagine what would come from that. Like, could you imagine Genki just like doing some of the like doing the shrinking thing that we see that Ishiki had that now what's his name? Main villain or main character.
Kawaki.
That's not, but yeah, that Kawaki. That like, if you imagine if he had technology that could like emulate that,
It'd be
and we
broken.
just like, what?
It'd be
Like
broken.
what? That's what I'm saying, and that's Genki, bro, and that's Genki.
I
You
think
sitting
they were
there like,
sending the
that's Genki?
Orochimaru. I think they were sending the Orochimaru because in
Oh,
the I
that'd be
think
even better.
in one of the offshoots, in the side Boruto things, I think Orochimaru came up with glasses that simulated the Byakugan, and Naruto ended up
Mm.
testing them after he lost Kurama, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. So he already has, and he's already
I like
technically
that.
cloned himself with Mitsuki. He's already worked on bodies and brought one to life technically, just like Amato has done. Just probably not to the
Yeah.
same instance.
Nah, you're right. Orochi shouldn't be slept on in that.
But
Not at all. That's a great
Mhm.
pick.
you bringing up Amato just brought up, what if it's not code? What if it's not code thinking that he's actually doing something? What if it's Amato been pulling the strings this whole time?
Mm. But what would be his plight
But
though?
why?
That's the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His whole premise is to get his daughter back. I
Yeah.
think he realized once Code got his limiters removed, I feel like he thought that once he helped the Hidden Leaf, they'll be able to extinguish Code because he's a, just like Joker said, he's an imbecile.
Mhm.
That nigga is dumb as hell. So you would one would surmise that it would be quite easy to pack this man up, but no, it wasn't easy to pack his ass up. And now he also has the white karma seal and everything like that. What if more Otsutskis basically is what is being created because Ishiki is influencing the claw grimes that Code made now. What if those are just more opportunities for him to be able to wish his daughter back? All you need is somebody with Otsutsuki DNA, which the four claw grime have now technically, and you have the additional Boruto and Kawaki. Any of them touching Ada, they could be able to figure out a way to make it so that he can wish back his daughter. What if that was his goal all along? Or
Well, that's why I
because
think he is eight. But I feel like right now the biggest tie with him right now is Ada because of that. Because the omnipotence right now seems like the
Mm.
best chance of that. They're made like it just, if I was like, put yourself in the story for a second, right? Like if I was Amato in the story and I'm looking, okay, I know I got these other angles with Asa. It's a lot clearly that can still be done and that can be researched into with Atsuki. But I got this one that can literally like, it's omnipotent. Like she can do what she want with this. We just gotta figure out how to like control it and harness it. I feel like if they were to like either undo what Ada did with like changing the whole storyline around essentially, if they were to figure out a way to undo that, if I was a model, I'm like, yo, I'm robbing you. I don't care. I need to figure this out. I'm
Mm-hmm.
using this time while they are fighting to figure out how I can successfully rob you and either separate you from Damon, or Damien, or I can defeat Damien. Like that would be my primary focus if I was him, because she just seemed like the best shot right now. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
want that, if you want your daughter back, but you're right. He also at the end of the day is a scientist, so How do you, as a scientist, abandon the possibility in an easier and more simplified way and just pursuing further everything that's happening with Cole and these tail beasts that came? Like, what I definitely see the side you coming from, and I don't disagree with it. I just would need the story to kind of flesh out more why he would go in that direction. Like, I don't disagree with him going in that direction. I just we'd have to see him this art.
Got you. The
Hmm.
only reason why I would
That's a
say
good
that
point though.
it has to be a reason why he implanted the white karma seal in the code. It had to be a reason because they already found Kawaki, who was able to actually harness the full power of the seal. It's always something so fishy with this nigga, and it feels like it's something always up his sleeve. So if it's anybody to have a big brain to be able to finesse the whole entire village, even finesse Shikamaru and everybody else, I can surmise that it's Amado. Also, on top of that, Kashin Koji coming back is no coincidence, and I feel like at some point in time, the fingers will start to point back at fucking Amado for all of this shit. Kashin Koji is pointing the finger at him because he sent him to his death, even though he didn't even know or he didn't want it to end like that or anything like that. That's why Kashin Koji left and all of that jazz. But, I don't know. Maybe
Have
it's a
we
little
seen
bit of
Kashin
both.
Koji yet?
Yeah, a little bit. He pulled up after Boruto ran away from the four Shinju.
Yep.
He
Hmm.
pulled up on the tree alongside him and told him, "Hey,
Oh,
nigga,
right.
don't do that stupid shit no more. You could have killed the whole universe." Me, hell, you talking about?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I want to see all of this get fleshed out, bro. And fam, Sarah need to be training with him. She need to lead a pack. She need to leave the village.
What if she been
She need to
training with
leave the
Kakashi?
village.
What if she been
I
training with
hope
Kakashi?
so. That's what I want.
That would be the only
Mm.
person that I could see training her at this point in time. There's nobody else in the Hidden League. Nobody.
I would want
True.
her. Yeah, and exactly. That's it. It would be. But like Kakashi,
He can
man, a lot
he
of
can
The
teach her.
Naruto characters just they didn't show me enough to believe that like any of it is like could be happening. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
it sound great in theory, but that's coming from like Naruto vibes. That's not
Hmm.
coming from what we seen in Boruto. All I know is he is walking guy around in that damn wheelchair. That's
Yep.
all he been. That's
Hmm.
all he been doing
Yep.
is just walking him around in that. But
Well,
I do agree.
what if she's had two masters like Boruto has had with Sasuke and Kashin Koji? What if she not only had Kakashi, but she also had her mom, Sarada? I said Sarada. I can't remember her. Sakura.
Sakura. Hmm.
Yeah,
The
Sakura.
trash can.
What if because she was somewhat of a trash can until the end, but she was still kind of like another recycling bin towards the end. Not a trash can, not as bad.
Oh, so
But
she evolved.
yeah, not as bad, but you're still throwing your trash out there. But it's just plastics.
It
They're
it, it
recyclables. But
mm,
her mark, I can't remember the jutsu
the
that
healing,
Tsunade passed out.
the
Yeah,
healing.
it's supposed to have a background of Suski, and they haven't fleshed that out. I can't remember if they talked about it before in a different story or,
So
but
you
I think that
saying
that has.
Sakura could be an Osuski with that mark? Oh,
What if she combines because Sasuke's main problem when he used the Sharingan was dispensing too much chakra within a given time, so it made him pick and choose when he could use his Sharingan. Kakashi was the one that kind of helped, I think, Sasuke be able to manage that better, and he also himself had to manage that better with only one Sharingan to use. He could only use the Kamui at a specific time. He had to pick and choose deliberately when to use that, or else he expensed or dispensed all his chakra. She can get training from him in that form, and then all of the jutsus that the nigga knows as well because he's the copycat ninja. And then he gets Sakura, and then combines both of Mangekyo Sharingan with that healing technique as well.
See, my only question with that is because I thought about that early on with the character, but wasn't that like the first Hokage like derivative, like
Yeah, if I'm not
that is
mistaken.
so weird. That little diamond is so weird because I thought that Tsunade, it was given to her via her grandfather, the first Hokage, and it's supposed to be tied to him. And now if a person like Sarada were to have that, then wouldn't she be equivalent to a sage of the sixth path? Because it's like you have Hashirama's DNA, and as well as that you got Uchiha DNA. So like when they both fusion dance, don't that create like
This
like a
man.
Rinnegan?
If,
Like
if,
doesn't that do that? That's what that's the it's all since the beginning of the series. Because when I was like, okay, Sakura and Sasuke had a kid. Well, I know Sakura can do the little diamond forehead thing, whether it was implanted in her or whatever the case is. She can do it, and that's the first. It's supposed to be the first Hokage's DNA. The Hashirama cells. It's tied to him, and she's also Uchiha. I'm like, why is she should be born with Renegons? Like she should be that boy. She should have
She
been better than anybody.
but you got to remember, like, the steps to go to get to that level. Like, she still has to train and get to that point where she can utilize those eyes, or for her eyes to change at that point.
Yeah. She should get a huge if that's the case, which I don't hate that, Robin. I've thought about that as well. The idea of having her be able to do the healing, to be able to bring the slug out like Tsunade, and at the same time be able to like you because again you got to remember her aim is to become the Hokage. So what a great show if they go into it, and it makes sense. Like the foreshadowing, I feel like is there for her to go from like the village is in a situation like a great war or a great devastation. She uses the slug stuff or the technique similar to how Tsunade did to protect villagers. This is up in her reputation, while at the same time where she could go a step beyond Tsunade in the same when Tsunade had to do the same role. She also is her father's child, so she can go crazy while at the same time heal mad people. It just makes sense. That seemed like a good like a progression that was meant to happen, and that in some way, shape, or form we'll see. Um, I just want to, yeah, I just need her to get a power up quick, like soon. And I know she got the eyes that unlocked after everything happened with Boruto, and that's how Sasuke had like he knew that like okay, I don't think you lying, but like I need another one. She needs something crazy. Something need to happen with her, cause I like, dude, when we see her in this arc and Cole showed up in Konoha, I'm just like she should not. She need to show something. Like this is ridiculous at this point. Like you one of the main, like you a main-ish character in the series. We know Mitsuki got his. Like he
So,
over here, Sage God, he got hit. We don't know all of the details to it, but we know that he that boy. We know he got some Super Sage mode 1000 power level on 7 million. We
so
know he got that.
speaking of
So like,
Miss Key, just a side note. I'm sorry. Now
mhm.
it's just been bugging me ever since like Boruto itself when I tried to watch it. Um, is he a clone of Orochimaru, or did Orochimaru smash somebody? That's what I'm like. I was always
a clone.
confused.
A
Oh, it's a
clone. Yeah,
clone.
it's
Oh,
a clone.
okay.
It's a clone.
Because it was so many parts of the series where he's like, I don't know, like he knows Orochimaru, but he didn't know. Like he was always contemplating who his dad might be or his mother, at some point. So it's like I was always confused by that. Like I'm like he gotta be a clone, but does he have a
Yeah,
parent?
no, it's just Orochimaru, and then Orochimaru splicing and dicing all of the cells
Yeah,
to.
I feel like it's
And
because the ambiguity around the entire thing of like technically is Orochimaru my mother or father, or like what's the scenario with that case? You
Or
know?
just Michael Jackson?
he asexual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically asexual.
Um.
Do y'all
Yeah,
think?
but his power up is coming.
Yeah, I think so. Sarada, do y'all think? Last question, and then we can wrap it up. She has to get Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Either that, or she gets some form of the Rinnegan, just like Sasuke got in this one. What do y'all think, or how do y'all think that she gets the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan? Because top of my head, I don't think that Orochimaru saved either it was Orochimaru or Toby or Obito, my bad. I don't think they saved Sasuke's eyes when they transplanted Itachi's eyes into him so that he could get the Eternal Mangekyo. So off the top of my head, I can only think of the healing jutsu coupled with the Sharingan.
Mm.
It technically heals the eyes while she's using the Sharingan, so she can use it for a longer duration of time, possibly even use it to its maximum output. Or she ends up finding Sasuke's eyes, which Obito might have in his lair or what have you, and she gets eternal from there. But what do y'all think?
Mm.
Wait, so just refreshing me really quickly the limitations, because I know you will go blind, but like, what is the limitations preventing you from unlocking it?
Just if you strain your eyes too much using the Sharingan, just like Sasuke's fight with Danzo, I think that
But do
fight
you
and
have to have an implant?
no, so you lose your sight when you don't have an implant. In order to get the Eternal
Mm.
Mangekyo Sharingan, you need to have an implant from a family member with obviously from the same family line that you have, or close to the same genetics. That's why Madara did that with his brother. Sasuke did it with Itachi's eyes, so on and so forth.
Mm.
She
So
might do it differently.
I
the
feel
only
like yeah.
person. Oh my bad. Go ahead.
No, no, you're good. I felt like she would probably go about it differently, whether it's just like unlocking it herself through some sort of means, because like you mentioned how she unlocked her Sharingan and stuff through like love instead of hatred, and amongst like the rest of the clan has done it for on in so many years. I feel like she's the main person who's there to break the cycle of everything through the Uchiha clan. So like I don't know, cause like with love she probably confesses to Boruto or kisses him or something like that. Like just making up a hypothetical situation where then she
Hmm.
like further unlocks either that or maybe a different form of Sharingan never before seen because of the way that it's built
Going
out of
down with
love.
her.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hmm.
okay, okay. So she gets it out of love, right? Now, nah, I ain't gonna do that. It's
I know
too.
what you're thinking.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
even go there.
I'm
Don't even
just
go there. I know
saying.
what you're thinking. Nope. Nope, don't even go there. I'm just thinking more of like the internal release of like these built up emotions, especially with the like the current circumstances of how Boruto is like where he is now and her continuous concern over him. Like I don't know, that kind of like built up emotion for love, for care for him could, you know, actually realize into a different manifested power of the Sharingan that maybe we haven't seen before. Or, built into that not needing the implant to be able to use that power.
I will say this too, that makes a lot of sense going into the latest chapter, because there was a moment when Sarada, before she was like, when she first there, her Sarada, the the chick that has the new and the purple hair, I can't
Hmm.
remember her name. um
The
but
class
when they
president.
were all, yeah, class prez, when class
Yeah.
prez Sarada and Boruto were all
Boruto's.
meeting,
Mm.
she was like nervous about, oh well, I gave him a hug, I wonder how that would be translated. And
Hmm.
then like he commented on it, and then he was, as he was going away, because he was being attacked by Mitsuki,
Mitsuki. Mm.
as he was like going away, it was like he was about to say something else to either her or just them in general. It looked like it was maybe to Sarada in general. So it may, in this arc, that they kind of start to share their feelings towards each other,
Hmm.
and they in that high schooly kind of phase too, where like, you know how it is when you start going in, when you go into high school, you start looking at girls differently, girls start
Hmm.
looking at guys differently. You start wanting to, like the little love notes and stuff that happened during that age and during that time.
Yeah.
Like they can easily start like playing around with that, but
Hmm.
obviously because they're ninja and states are different for them, it could possibly lead to a path where, like you said, love, and through maybe him sharing his feelings, she sharing her feelings to him, something major happened to him, she would, because that's another thing, it like, does it have, when you say love, and this is one thing that they haven't explored, so I just don't feel like we know, but
Hmm.
when they say love, like, the way that she didn't have to go through grief to
Hmm.
unlock her Sharingan
Mm-hmm.
could could that intake in place kind of happen for her because everything is different for her Mangeka? You know, like could it be something
Mm.
where she sees something kind of like traumatizing, and then for her it's like, oh, well, I didn't have to go through this the first time, so here we
So
just gonna go through it now because I'm
Mhm.
different.
okay, with
It
you
could.
saying that, like how it's through sadness, but would she still could she still develop it if like someone she loves dies in a
Yeah,
sense?
like
Okay,
something
so
like that, or
but
like
my
because we
now
already
let's say
seen
now
Boruto get stabbed in the chest. He could get stabbed in the
now
chest again.
no, I feel like someone would have like at that point someone would have to die. We
I
know she
feel like
loves
it's
her
supposed to be
dad.
brief.
We know that she loves her dad. We know that she loves Boruto. My whole thing is when Boruto told her Sasuke sacrificed himself, you would think that would have been a moment where she could have
Right?
developed it if she started crying, but she didn't.
She ain't had no emotion.
None.
That was kind of weird. How she didn't she reacted to that very maybe it was because it was so brief and they just had to get everything out that like she just didn't have time to react. Maybe next chapter we'll see that.
But in
Um
but who would
mhm.
you say would be another person, not Sasuke or Boruto or her mom, that if something happened to that person, she could develop it without none of
She
the other characters? You said who?
maybe Chozo's daughter or Chozo what's her name?
Choji, Choji's daughter.
Choji, yeah, maybe her daughter, but like I really do feel like it would just have to be Boruto. Like that's the only one that I think would be able to unlock it for her, and they would just do it in the way of love.
Mhm.
So I don't know, but again, we've seen Boruto die.
Well,
he don't
back
he
to my
don't
further thought y'all censored me on.
It,
he
it
but
could be it could
he
be
could
that
die
Shinju
again.
too. It could be that Shinju too that look like Sasuke, that look like her father.
Yeah, that's true.
Possibly.
Ooh, that's a good point. Maybe like her hearing it from Boruto wasn't enough. But
Mhm.
like, cause I think Sasuke is the second. I think if not Boruto, Sasuke is the most believable next up in that.
Hmm.
But that's a great point. If you have it be like let's take this. Boruto kill the 10 tail beast that looked like her dad, and she got to witness that.
Mhm.
She's witnessing that. That is a huge just throw off of emotions. Like how do you even process that the man you love
Mm.
killing what you think is your
Or
father?
or what if
Mhm.
she do it herself? Cause we all know Boruto not gonna kill this nigga. She
Do a
he looks
Itachi?
like
Do a
he
Itachi?
he looks like her father for a reason,
I
and
like
his
that.
target is Sarada specifically. Boruto might help, Mitsuki might help, but
Mhm.
I think Sarada is gonna do the dealing blow. And because in turn, from what we
I
can
live for
understand,
this.
if you
Yo.
kill the Shinju, if you destroy the Shinju, then the person that was turned into a tree is supposedly saved.
Now,
That's
now, I'm
Yeah,
not
let her
gonna
kill her
lie. I
daddy.
would
I like
probably
that. Her daddy did her brother in.
if
Let her
we
kill her daddy. I
now
like this.
now here's the
yeah.
fun part. If they do the same situation as Itachi and Sasuke, and that let's say the Senju develops some type of thought from Sasuke that that's his daughter, and he does the whole thing where he's about to like it looks like he's about to kill her, but he took in so much damage that he's the one to just instantly die. And he does the whole thing where he like puts his finger on her forehead like
The
Itachi did.
Itachi.
I ain't gonna lie, I cry. I'm probably gonna cry if that happens.
Mhm.
I would
Tears.
want to see that.
It
Like
will be
you,
tears.
I'm glad y'all said that. I would love to see. I would love to see Sarada take
Where
that 10 tails down, and it look reminiscent to Itachi versus Sasuke. Yes,
and then you
yes.
get the Susanoo and she gets all like everything passed down to her in that fight. Where let's say the Susanoo for the fake Sasuke is not the
But
original.
you want to know why I don't think that would happen though?
Why is
They
that?
put too much emphasis on making Boruto different from Naruto. That's just too similar. It's so similar that
But
they want. I feel like they
what if the
want to do it
Susanoo's
just
a
because of
woman?
that.
What if the Susanoo's like a woman? Like a
Still, just
woman
the
warrior.
setup. It's.
Mhm.
I think the setup is what would turn them away more than anything else. They don't want to do the same setup that would come from Naruto, where Itachi versus Sasuke, Sasuke clone versus Sadara, similar fight, similar conclusion. I don't think they would want to do it just because of that. It'd be too
I was
similar
gonna
to
say the
Naruto.
same thing. I was gonna be like, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm the opposite in this situation where I'm like, I don't think that'd be a good idea because that's just solely relying on your nostalgia for that specific scenario. Like if that's how you want it, sure, but then that's the entire reason why people hate Boruto as a whole, is because like there's nothing good about its cast of characters and the scenarios it builds around them, but they like it because of the nostalgia that comes with it. Like look at like the couple episodes they did with Jiraiya and like young Naruto, like that whole flashback arc. I know myself and my girlfriend got back into it because it was relying on nostalgia, but we didn't like anything regarding Boruto.
I was
I would
crying.
and like, you know, to kind of be cheesy in that part too, where I'm like going back to the whole love aspect. Like I could be it like see like the manga panel being like a romance anime where like they confess and then Sarada's like crying, and then from that eye that she's crying out of, it's that different like Sharingan transformation kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like either that new power or like, you know, the one we were talking about before, the Mangekyo Sharingan. You know what I mean? Like or
Mm-hmm.
anything further than that.
Yeah,
So
and
like
then
that's what I would prefer personally, because it would be different and it wouldn't rely on just that, oh, it's like, oh, they did before kind of thing, you know?
mm, I see your point. I see your point with that one. Because it would give us something different to look at and not,
Mhm.
oh, just we rehashing everything over again, just different people.
Yeah, because then it just brings no benefit to like reading Boruto. It's just like, oh, it's the same old, same thing as before. Like it brings no value to the story besides nostalgia. Like
Okay.
The
if
nostalgia factor, yeah.
you would want as an author to make this story of Boruto basically be what Naruto is to us now, where we have nostalgia for Boruto looking back with whatever they decide to do later in the future with like Boruto, like, you know, him and his kids kind of thing. You know what I mean? Want to look back fondly at those and be like, yo, you know, speculating how we are now, like, oh, what if they do this like they did before to Boruto instead of just to Naruto? If they just keep doing that, then people are gonna get tired of it, and then it's not gonna work out well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Joker, earlier in one of our episodes, Rob had a point. What if Boruto and Sarada had a child? How broken that child would be in a sense of power.
Honestly, that'd be really hard to say, just because like they would have the Sharingan, and then they could possibly have
The
like the
Byakugan.
possibility of have the Byakugan.
It'll
So
be
that's
half Otsuki, half human.
and I was about to say the same thing. That as well, like that's three things stacked up on them that like nobody else could probably manage.
The
And then
series gotta end. That's
and
why it's gotta end on that.
that's literally what
It
I was gonna
has to
say. Is
end,
I'm like,
yeah.
how are you gonna build up past that? You're building past Naruto as is already, like, you know, him being the hero of the Great Ninja War, like being Hokage and stuff. Yet they're managing to build on top of that. How are you then going to build on top of
Gonna
that with
build on
someone
top of
coming
that, yeah.
coming out of nowhere? You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
And this baby just being born, like floating. Like, what do you? Baby
Uh,
just sitting here, got every eye,
mhm.
got chakra already. Kurama probably just come back for giggles for no reason. Like, this baby is the destiny.
Every
For
time the
just
baby
no
blink, you get a
reason.
different set of eyes. Blink, Renegade.
Yeah,
Blink,
new
Mangekyo.
one, new one.
Blink, Byakugan.
Mhm.
It's too overpowered. And even at that, like, because we know these other characters are gonna have to be built up. Like, dude, if you got like Kawaki and Class Prez, dog, like I don't know, because she's gonna get more power. She's gonna get built up. They use her too much for her.
Mhm.
Like that, I just am noticing it. Like they from the jump too. Like they use they. I thought that it was gonna be Mitsuki used as like she is. No, she's used as much as Mitsuki, if not more.
Mhm.
Like they're gonna give her a power up, and if you telling me that she has a baby with Kawaki, they can shapeshift and make news. We don't
Jesus!
need we don't need anymore. We don't need
Nope.
that plus Naruto or Boruto and Sarada's baby. Like they won. Their universe is saved forever. For the rest of forever. They are good. That's too much.
That's when you make a one-off 2-hour movie and call it a day, just to fully
And that
end
way,
the whole
if they
series.
did that, it would have to be like maybe they never found the Atsuki god, like the people who've completed the actual like journey
Hmm.
on a planet. But see, I'm thinking that that has to happen during Boruto at some point.
Mhm.
That just, but maybe not. Like that's I don't know where they go with the enemies after this.
Okay. They
But
still they still got the two panels in the Otsuki dimension where they was holding the ten tails.
Mhm.
That was both messed up. We seen the one with Ishiki and uh Kaguya, and then we seen the one with
yeah,
Momoshiki and his subordinate. but then we don't see the one that the two ones that was broken up. And then I just realized in Japanese you read from right to left. So what if
Hmm.
that right one
Yeah.
was the beginning one? Then you had the Kaguya Ishiki, which was the middle one, if I'm not mistaken, and then there was the
Mm.
Momoshiki. So I think it's either
That's a
gonna
good
be
point.
Shibai. I think Shibai is gonna come back because that's the only person that I can see after Boruto saves his brother. And I still think Kaguya. I said Kaguya. I think Kawaki is gonna sacrifice himself at the end. I feel like
Hmm.
he would have done too much damage
Yeah.
in general for people to just turn a blind
But
eye to
remember,
it.
if it seemed too much like Toby, they won't do it because it's going to be like it'd be going back to that nostalgia. Like it wouldn't. It would be
Yeah.
controversial. It would be a controversial ending because they went back to. They would be essentially making Kawaki Toby 2.0, and
Hmm.
people would be like,
Yeah, but I mean,
So
I could
it's
see the
kind of the
Twitters,
same.
bro. I could see the Twitter like notifications being like, "Yo."
already, yeah.
Beep, beep,
Hmm.
beep, 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 beep.
It's
What
kind
is
of the same
this?
though, because Toby, or I guess he had that fucked up realization and everything like that. Kawaki necessarily was raised on that shit, and now he's just toxic as fuck. I, it's hard for me to view after everybody finds out that the seventh Hokage, in fact, the Hokage that saved the entire world, in fact, is not dead and was put into the dimension by this little pipsqueak. It's hard for me to think that the elders, especially how they was treating Boruto in this most recent chapter, how they was moving against that nigga. These old fucks is gonna look at Kawaki and be like, "Put that nigga on the noose right now,
I like how
hang his
Shikamaru,
ass."
like one thing I like how Shikamaru is like starting to really think, oh, something's wrong. Yeah, and why is Boruto helping us if he tried to kill, if he killed Naruto? Why would he come back and help us against Cold? Things are starting to click, and I like how Shikamaru is finally waking up from this nonsense and like, yeah, yo, Ino, I need you to set up a private line for me and Boruto so we can talk for a second, so he can actually get the information he needs. Slowly but surely, people are going to realize that Kawaki and that whole setup was a pure lie, and
We
they're gonna turn on him early, and like you said, he might end up sacrificing himself.
we still haven't seen fucking Momoshiki yet, bro.
I know.
That's another nigga where I'm not
How is
too
that gonna play?
necessarily comfortable because there's a reason why Boruto ain't used his karma yet. Kawaki had to use his karma in order to blow up the one fucking Shinju. Boruto was strong enough to just slice and dice these niggas regular as
Yeah,
fuck.
but he can't control him anymore, right? Like he just has to sit in the background,
He
right?
he can, I guess he can necessarily control him as long supposedly it's the same as
Psychologically.
how it
Hmm.
was before, where if he doesn't give up control, obviously one, or if he doesn't expend his chakra to a point where he just passes out and Momoshiki is able to take control. I think Momoshiki still has that ability. I think it's not gone. He just can't revive himself in
We
Boruto.
got to see it. Boruto would have to. We got to see Boruto get into a position like that where he would. But that's the thing. Like I feel like that's kind of lost because of his training. Like the training he's had in this arc, even though we haven't seen it, or like we haven't seen it, it's still dog Sasuke and dog Koshin Kenji who is training him. He might not be able to do that anymore because he like, oh no, nah, I'm a dog. Like I'm zoned out. I'm zoned out. Like he's in that zone now. Like even when he was talking to look at the difference and how he was talking to Mitsuki at the end of the chapter, right? Like him and Mitsuki were fighting and training before, and this was his boy. If this was the same Boruto that like if this was the same Boruto that and he didn't have this training with Sasuke and Koshin Kenji, he would have responded way more emotionally than that.
Hmm.
Like that was his boy.
Yeah.
That was his right hand man. So the fact that he responded, I'm gonna have to put you down a little bit. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's just what it's gonna have to be. He was just so
Mm-hmm.
nonchalant with it.
Yeah.
The fact that he was like that, I don't think that he holds those same emotional or even psychological risks, even if that is the case with Momoshiki. I think Momoshiki is just the role that Momoshiki is gonna play. It has to be like a psychological role, that constantly causes. Remember, Boruto didn't want to be like his dad. He wanted to be like Sasuke. And
Yep.
Sasuke had a lot of those same things where it was like, dude, psychologically, y'all gotta give me a second. I gotta go off. I don't think that I'm like nothing good is gonna come from me being in your presence. Like you go back to at the end of the fourth ninja or the Great Ninja War, where when they like when Naruto and Sasuke were fighting, and we were starting to kind of get more explanation behind the passions that Sasuke had to leave the village in the first place and like how he felt about Naruto. And it's like that is what like those emotions that Sasuke was having and explaining during that part. I feel like we're gonna see fleshed out a lot more in Boruto. Like he's gonna be the guy that's like, I need to be away from the village. Like I don't want to put my friends at risk. I need to just go fight this and figure it out. I need to go avenge my parent. I need to go fight Kawaki to avenge, or the only part where he might be like his dad is with Kawaki, where it's like, don't give up on your brother, you know, try to, you know, to the very end, you are going to try to fight for your friend. Like he'll be like his dad in that regard, but in everything else, I think he's just going to be a little bit more like Sasuke. So it's like I don't know what we get from that's going to be something that's going to be real interesting to see as they can like further flesh out the story, because now you kind of built Boruto up to be again like, and I know that was the plan to be like Sasuke, but like again when you think of Sasuke is introverted, he is out
Mm-hmm.
of the scene, and this is the main fucking character. Like how are you going to do this with the main character? So obviously Boruto's I'm not trying to say that his personality is gone, because we'll have to see his personality again, but it's just how is he affected by all of this and how does it necessarily play out in the story,
True.
and with his powers and with the psychological warfare with Momoshiki. Like how does his character and the personality he has now, how does that translate now? Like it's weird. It was a lot easier to understand with immature kid Boruto. It was a lot easier to see that. But now it's just a lot harder to kind of grasp that, because I feel like he just is in so much control of himself, his abilities, his understanding. We did still see him have some emotional response when he was fighting the Ten Tails, because he, like Coach and Kenji said, he should have pulled out. You know, he should have understood the risks and not been as rash as he was,
Mm-hmm.
which we know Boruto to be. But if that's the only trait, how, we they gonna have to explain to us how this character is gonna come back into phrase like a main character.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
He been trying to be a badass. I mean, when he seen Himawari, he was like, his face was a little shocked. He was like, Hima? And
Mm-hmm.
then and he had to get back in frame. He was like a red pillar in the
Mm-hmm.
YouTube community. That nigga had to just stay on his frame 24/7. It was like, I
Said
ain't
a
about to
red
look like a
pillar.
bitch to nobody. Nah,
Mm.
that ass. He moving like that. But it's so much stuff I could talk about with Boruto. I just really like where that series is going. It seems like we all generally how the series has turned out as of now. Before it was on rocky ground. I'm not gonna lie to you, especially with the anime. Once Kishimoto came back with the manga, though, I feel like everything was flushed out, and then especially with Two Blue Vortex, it's just going at a different type of pace where it's more reminiscent of other animes that we see out right now. JJK is a very fast-paced anime compared to One Piece or Naruto or Dragon Ball Z or
Yeah.
any of the older ones or anything like that. So I really like it. Getting right to the point. I'm curious where it goes. We still haven't seen Jogan. We still haven't seen Boruto using this again. We still haven't seen a whole myriad of things. So I'm curious where Kishimoto goes from here. But I think we're gonna leave it at that. We in a 2 hour 30 minutes. Just hit the mark. So I think that's a pretty good one. Thank y'all again for tuning in. This is episode 10 of Squad Nero. This is your humble host, Sage, with Crocoscorner, aka Nyle. If you want to check out his podcast with everything that he talks about from history to anime to different topics that's going on throughout the world as of right now, check his podcast at Crocos Corner on all social media platforms. And our humble and grateful greeted guest, Musical Joker for coming in on this thing, saying your piece.
T, can we hit
We
the round
greatly
of
appreciate.
applause?
Please.
Let me see if I can get it. Hold up, hold up.
We greatly appreciate
uh,
your knowledge. OD, I gotta tap in with you after the stream.
Oh yeah, man. Listen, guys, I appreciate you guys for letting me jump in. A couple hours from from now, and I was super excited to jump on it, and I got started. I brought everything that I could for our conversation tonight, and I'm happy with how everything came out. And I really truly thank you again for having me here. It was really fun.
And thank you were awesome. You were the MVP for sure of this show. It was you came with the right.
wrong
And then
one.
there's that.
Wrong one. My bad. Hit the
No,
wrong
yeah,
button.
man.
Hit the wrong button. Hit the wrong button.
Oh, sure.
Joker,
And
did
then
you
there's
have any socials that you wanted to tag as well?
Mainly just my YouTube channel. I post anime content and anything else I find fun on there. Musical Joker. Check out my content. I just really have fun talking about anime. Things that are coming out, things that have been out. Just having fun with it and just trying to create a great community. So if you guys are looking for something like that, don't be afraid to check me out. Musical Joker on YouTube.
I'm adding you now, sir.
And then the man behind the machine, Tsmoov24. You can catch out his streams at twitch.tv/Tsmoov without the E24. And you can tap into our podcast live every Sunday, mostly every Sunday. And you can check him out playing other different games, variety games of all sorts of shapes and sizes. All right. I think we are in episode 10. We in double digits, y'all. We finally made it. Hope to keep continuing.
Yeah.
Yes,
We
sir.
live.
And
We
Musical Joker, we
live.
got to tap in as well. We got to do it. Okay. We came with
Absolutely.
the tutelage.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. We out.